reading out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders.
Hey, good morning, Prometheus. That's true. Yeah, we have to take Coach Fry out now.
Lighten up the dark. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite.
Yeah, how about this weather? We got to get into the weather here coming up.
Every day, every
Nastiness.
night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark. Big Dog Sports Talk.
Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Many of you are already. And on the professional door text line, we'd love to hear from you. There we go. All right. It's Thursday. See by the big sign right there that it's Thursday. Hey, how are you? Y'all let me know when Wayne's in here. It's Wayne's birthday today. Wayne from Ohio. So we wish Wayne a happy birthday. See, look. I got Wayne a surprise whenever he jumps in. So, Wayne, let me know when you're here. And who knows, it's his birthday. He may not be here. his lovely wife, Carol, may not allow him to be here. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, what about this weather? All right, so we're sitting over there yesterday and then the day before, calling stick and ball, right? Tuesday, it was beautiful for baseball. It was warm yesterday. Wind kind of picked up, and, I knew the forecast. And then you look today, right? Today's Thursday. The temperatures are going to fall all day long. We're going to have heavy rain, I guess, from now until 11. Heavy wind, and the temperatures are going to drop all the way into the upper 30s today. That's right, the upper 30s. Tonight, it's going to be below 30. So if you planted anything, good luck. We start our softball tournament in Radford tomorrow. It's going to be 55. And then barely 60 on Saturday. No weather expected, but that's bad enough, isn't it? What are we doing? We're not done yet. We're not done yet. So we need Morris and Wayne to pop in here for good morning and to wish Wayne a happy birthday. Glad to have you back, TLB. I'm going to go ahead and invite David. David might be able to jump on a little early. We got a lot to talk about, man. NFL free agency is weird. It's been highlighted by this whole Ravens. Let's just say it the way it is. The Ravens worked. This is very shady for the Ravens. It is very shady. The story is all over the place. And then Max Crosby came out yesterday and said, the whole time I was there, it felt weird. I would be left alone in the building. And I kind of felt like something wasn't right. And you shouldn't bring in a free agent, an all-pro like Max Crosby, who's one of my favorite players in the league. I mean, I know he's with the Raiders, but that guy is just awesome. He's a hell of a football player. And no, Prometheus, your Raiders did nothing wrong. I mean, they were honest about the medicals. The Ravens knew. I think they just had buyer's remorse. They had Crosby and why am I blanking on his name? The kid from Cincinnati who they just signed. Hendrickson. So they had Hendrickson there in the building along with Crosby. Crosby said yesterday he kind of felt like looking back now that maybe they had Hendrickson in the building and didn't want him to know, which is weird. So I don't care what Eric DeCosta came out. He's trying to damage control. You can tell the owner wanted him out there as quickly as possible. The Ravens are being raked through the coals. Nobody's going to believe what DeCosta's saying. So, yeah. So it's very strange, very strange. But we'll talk about all these things with David Smith. Who's some of the signings that he likes. Broncos haven't signed anybody but their own players. It's weird. And you wanted to do that. You wanted to re-sign your own guys, but they haven't signed anybody from outside. I think the Seahawks and the Broncos are the only two that haven't signed anybody. Got back yesterday after 4, beautiful day. Oh, Pigeon Forge, yes. Did you have a cabin? Happy 41st anniversary, TLB. You had to have a cabin, right? Did you get a cabin? Hope you got a cabin. Love the cabins there. What's up, Tebow? Good morning. Ravens lost to the Eagles game. Crosby and Jonathan Greenland are definitely in the mix in Philly. Yeah, Philly finally signed somebody. Broncos haven't signed anybody outside the organization. And they get a first-place schedule next year. Broncos are going to fall they're going to sink like a stone next year. So we'll see, how that division goes. But just very strange. And we'll talk about it all with David Smith. You know, it's sad. And there's going to be a situation now. We're family. So I'm just going to tell you, I kind of had some reaction to food over the last 12 hours. That's still kind of working its way through. So if you see me have to leave, then I will have to be addressing that issue. Maybe I'll hit the BDST song again. So I saw this. I just lost it. I just lost the whole thing. Well, anyway, I had a story right here, and I've already lost it. And it's gone. But in any event, looking at the college basketball from last night. See, this is why I don't understand some of these social media. Like if you click off of something, it's just gone. And I don't know what happens to it. But NC State beat Pitt last night in the second round. Louisville edged out SMU. Florida State beat Cal. And then Clemson beat Wake, the team that had beaten Tech. So Thursday, today, is going to feel like the old ACC tournament, right? NC State and Virginia. That's the nooner. Louisville, Miami is the 2:30 game. Florida State and Duke. And then Clemson and North Carolina. So there's your 4 games today in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament, just to get you updated on the bracket in case you're still watching. And you may not be. Good morning, Christopher Lester. How you doing, brother? No cabin, stayed at the Garner Hotel. Smokies were gorgeous. Okay, I've never been to the Garner. I'm sure it was nice. Went to Cades Cove twice. Saw a coyote first day. Yeah, we have those out here in Reiner. Oh, cell footage of 2 bear cubs playing. And then the downtown shops and all those things. It's just great. It's a great area. I need to go there more often. I do. Wayne's birthday. Wayne's not here. I have him a nice birthday present queued up and ready to go, but he's not here. Wayne's giving us the high hit on his birthday. Peeps are wishing him a happy birthday. They remember. See, we're our family. Everybody remembers everybody's birthday. Wayne takes small bills. If you want to help him out. But it's going to sound weird, but since, Radford was eliminated, Tech's out, I'm not really gung-ho to watch a lot of college basketball right now. Is that terrible? I'm just not. I'll get into it when we get the brackets and the tourney. By the way, the brackets are up. If you go to the ESPN March Madness or whatever it is, Tournament Challenge, it's just Big Dog Sports Talk, BIG-DAWG Sports Talk, 4 words. Go join. I could type in the link here, but you can't join it from here. The link doesn't show up the way they have the chat. So, but if you reach out to me via the text line, professional door text line, I will send it to you that way. So if you want to play, you want to jump in, send me a text. 391-0788, the professional door text line. Joining us now on the program, there he is. Our guy, David Smith, the Radford Hall. What's going on? How are you?
Oh, man, sorry. I wanted to be here another minute sooner, but I can't get this going without this.
No, it's okay.
And you're not a coffee guy. You're not a coffee guy, are you?
I never have it. I love the way it smells, and I don't mind making it for people. I've tried to drink it a few times, and I've never found one that I like. I don't know. And yeah, I'm not.
Well, Pebbles doesn't like it either.
See?
So I have a brother and 2 sisters. All of us like coffee. None of my in-laws like coffee. So when we're all together, it's my 2 sisters and my brother and myself. We're all enjoying it.
That's it.
And all of them do not. My sister-in-law and my 2 brother-in-laws do not like it. So I'll drink it for everybody. So,
yeah.
But Rick, I wanted to start today by mentioning to your listeners and viewers. I did not say this publicly to you. Prayers to the RU family for everything that they're going through right now, and champion you for making sure that everyone understands the significance of what's going on at Radford University baseball. And I know they're playing their hearts out. They beat JMU the other day. I saw your call and saw the end of that. Good win for them. They beat Western Carolina in 1 game last week. I did see that too. So, but what they must be going through is a lot right now. And I wanted to make sure that I recognize that Joey RU is one of us. He's a Radford alum. He's a former player. And so we all are aligned in the family. And so I wanted to make sure that on behalf of Pebbles and I and our family as alums and former student athletes, that we recognize them and we keep them uplifted through their bereavement. And they're going to get on through it because this baseball team is going to be inspirational to them, bro. I'm telling you.
Absolutely, man. I know.
And so we wanted to make sure we acknowledge that. And so I wanted to make sure I couldn't believe I didn't do that last week. I got so jacked up about all this stuff that we think's important. It's football and what in the world? And we're going to get into that too. But I want to make sure I stopped and make sure our Radford family recognize, Radford family is what it is, Rick. And you know that.
It is.
It's a very insulated place. And Alex is our guy. We love him. The moment he got hired, I thought, what a great hire. And the fact he's going to be with us for a while now. And I just love everything about what he's about. And so what a year for him, being acknowledged by the NCAA in January and then having this to deal with. So heavy is the head that wears the crown, and Alex is built for it. So
he is.
Just wanted to say that.
Well, I'll mention it to him. He's coming on at 7:30. That's his spot on Thursday now. So
I hear him. Mm-hmm.
I will mention that. I'll pass that along to him. He'll appreciate it mightily.
We're all family. Yes, sir.
We are. And here on BDST too. It's Wayne's birthday, although Wayne's still not here. So when Wayne shows up, we'll wish him a happy birthday.
Wayne's having a great birthday.
I guess so.
Maybe he started early.
Already.
Maybe so. Or maybe like me, he needed to get his coffee. So I'd be interested to know, is your BDST crew coffee people? Are they soda people? Are they energy drink people?
I don't know. I've never asked. Yeah. Let us know, chat. Let us know what you like. I got a feeling they probably have some coffee people in there. Yeah. I think so.
You don't, energy drinks or anything? What do you do? Mountain Dew?
No, soda. Yeah.
Oh, you're soda
It's
guy.
in my, I'm a Diet Pepsi guy. Specifically.
Oh, so when the screen goes blank and you have your sip.
That's me. And I don't want people to see me taking a drink. So
I know.
Because it's a bottle. If it was a cup, if it looked cool, I would. But it's just, so I just, that's what I always do. That's what I'm doing.
All right. Well, we kind of know you are. But we appreciate the respect. We stay tuned anyway. Yeah, there you go.
Well, let's get into it. I guess we got to start off with the controversy that continues just to rage through the league. And now we have some little more information as this thing's coming out. And anything the Ravens are trying to say right now is just damage control. And then Max Crosby comes out and he says, it was weird when I was there in the building that a couple of different times they would just leave me alone in a room. And now you wonder, did they have Trey Hendrickson there? They apparently had him in the building at the same time. This whole thing is absolutely bizarre the way it's came down. And the Raiders apparently did nothing wrong. So
no, I think the Raiders, what they did right out of the gate was they lit this whole thing, because the first thing, I guess it was Tuesday night, I'm watching basketball and I see the crawl on ESPN because I'm watching the game on there, and it says Raiders say that Ravens-Knicks deal or something like that. And so I saw it just real quick. So I rewound the screen and I said, did I just see that? And I immediately go to my tablet and I go, this must be something crazy. And so I clicked on it, but it wasn't a lot of details then. And of course, since then, we've gotten a lot. First of all, the Raiders got ahead of it by saying it was them. They made sure they said it wasn't us, it was them. And I think in some of the messaging you and I had yesterday, what I found so odd about all of this, Rick, is I think we have to start a little bit with the historical context of the Baltimore Ravens, and again, all we have is what we have. You and I, we gather information like this. There are people in different lines of work. I'm not that connected. So I rely a lot on what I read and what I can see, right? And Rick, what I see and hear is a team that has never had anything but class, nothing but class. And so you and I, when we talk about what the Ravens are going to be, when we project their teams, we always talk about they're an upstanding group, the Ozzie Newsome part of it and all and the whole bit. And so when this happened, I immediately said, oh, he failed his physical. I said to you and to others, well, of course he failed his physical. Who's going to pass a physical right after surgery? It's not like they didn't know this. They're in the business of football. They're in the business of evaluating. And so that's the part that has everyone concerned is, first of all, they're giving you, the Ravens, the benefit of the doubt. You've never done anything like this. You know what else they have never done in their history? They've never traded away a first-round draft pick for a player. So that leads people to say, well, these two things are odd. Did you get cold feet? That's the natural assumption. Beyond that, and the Trey Hendrickson thing, there is some conversation that they were trying to entertain getting both of them, which makes them then feel like, of course, we were interested in both of them the whole time through. Now, Rick, here's the thing. You would be, if you follow any of this, just like in college sports, you don't just have one player you're going after. You probably got a list. So it's not out of the realm of thinking, hey, if we don't get Crosby, we'll get Hendrickson, because they probably got a list of players. So that's not the issue. But the fact is you probably couldn't have afforded both of them, which made you feel like all those things add up to give them the doubt that they've never had to have before. And that's where y'all get screwed up, because it's an easy, low-hanging fruit situation to be able to say, they got cold feet. They realized those picks were too much. Scrutiny started to come through this old thing called social media, perhaps. Maybe they say, you know what? We'll just blame it on the doc. That's the speculation out there. Now, Rick, let me flip it to the other side. Let's flip it to the other side. I think I heard you talk about you doing some wonderful refinancing this week and all this and that and the other. Well, let's just say this. When those folks come in to check out your property, if you buy a house, this is the analogy that's been thrown out, and it's not terrible. Let's say, for example, that they really did want him. But let's say they got him in there and they're projecting that, you know what, you guys can take him if you want to. I'm not so sure he's going to be any good to you next year based on the surgery recovery that I'm seeing, because this surgery is a little more complex than I thought. If you're the Ravens and you're thinking there's any inkling that he may not be, what are you going to do? You're going to stay with the deal knowing that it's damaged goods, and then you've given up 2 picks and you get nothing in return. If you're the Ravens, and if you're a Ravens fan, you're probably saying, man, forget what these people are thinking. I'm not taking a guy. I got to live with you guys up here. If we fall short of our goals again without any compensation, now we're stuck with a guy that can't play, this and that and the other. So that's, if you want to take the other side, that's the side that people will say, I see your skepticism. I understand it, because the whole deal is this. If you get over your skis too much, you should have just said, we're not going to mess with an injured guy, and we don't need to give up the picks.
Correct.
And so if that's the side you're going to lean on, so here we are. We got pads here. Here's the problem, though, and I'll give it back to you. If Max Crosby goes out there and tears it up this year,
I know.
Now you're the doctor that's going to be in that same pile of doctors as Drew Brees' doctor in Miami in 2006 or so, when they said he couldn't play for Miami, and all he does is go to the Saints and tears it up. So if you've got a doctor that's being cautious like that, you better be sure that guy's not going to come back and tear it up this season. Now, if he gets good next year, he'll be off the hook for that. So if you're the Ravens right now, you probably got to do a little spin control. And right now it is hovering over right now. And it's one that they're going to have to come out and speak to. Yeah.
And they're trying, but they're lying, because they let their all-pro center go because they said they couldn't afford to keep him.
To the Raiders. To the
Raiders signed. So now they're trying to spin it like, oh, we were considering signing both. Well, no. And then Crosby's agent said, well, that's a blatant lie. That was discussed. Nobody ever brought up Trey Hendrickson. He was their backup. He was something they had on, and he was available all of a sudden when he wasn't at first, potentially, is what people are saying. And now, yeah. But the thing is, too, I think about the irresponsibility, just it all lies on the Ravens. Because even if that scenario you played out, let's say it's remotely true, then that's on them for what's that say about their organization that they get a guy in the building and then decide, well, wait a minute, what about Nick? Did we not consider all these things to give up 2 picks? And then about the Raiders, they went out and spent $275 million because all of a sudden they had freed up money, right?
That's right.
And now they've got to pay Crosby again.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do going forward. They can't sign anybody going forward, and I don't know what it's going to look like for their cap. But all I know is the NFL continues to sit there and just let all this happen without any reaction, and that's par for the course for Roger Goodell.
Well, I think that this is going to. I don't think that the ownership, and the rest of the league, whatever side you want to call this, I think what you're going to find out though is there are going to be some things put in place right now. Now, there are people who I've been listening to that have said, every deal is not consummated until the physical is done. So if you decide then that you're going to go out and spend and all that, you have to be sure that your guy's also going to pass the physical. So there's that too. Now, if you're the Raiders, you're probably thinking, well, of course he's going to pass the physicals. They came after him knowing here's the medical records for him. Buyer beware too. So there's gentleman agreements inside of this. There's also one where at the end of the day, though, if you know what? It's not cute, Rick. It is legal. It's not cute because this is what happens though, Rick, too. And I don't know what this is going to do moving forward because you can't stop it. It's like everyone knows what's going to happen, even though it officially couldn't have happened until yesterday. Right. So it was happening on Friday, but that's how it goes now.
That's how it works. Yeah.
So you can't, if you're going to wait till the 11th, all the deals will be done by then. And of course, yesterday, whatever happened yesterday was a drop in the ocean compared to the noise we've been hearing since the calendar flipped last week. So you can't say, well, it's officially the 11th. I understand that it's that way. Yeah. And so from a standpoint, they can say, look, we aren't wrong in what we did. You're not wrong legally, but it comes off as, you just don't want to do that. And so what I'm getting to is, I believe the league is going to have to speak up and start saying, hey, now, you can't have a guy come in here, do an interview, does an interview, speaks to it without some assurance. I probably would have said, you might want to get your physical first before we get into all this. But I think Crosby was probably one of the few that I saw actually speaking to it because, to his credit, he was sure he was going there. It was such a perfect fit. Yeah. And I, for one, as a fan, was excited to see him there. I was so excited to want to see him play for them. He fit the model perfectly and the stereotypes that the Baltimore defense has. And I'm disappointed that it didn't work. I think right now the next steps for them, of course, it didn't take them long. They got Trey Hendrickson right out the gate, almost like they had him sitting on deck. And so from a football standpoint, how did Baltimore end up? They ended up fine. How they looking in the eye of a lot of people, a lot of spin control is going to be needed for folks to feel like this wasn't some kind of a cold feet kind of deal. And so I'm looking forward to hearing more out of this.
I know. And then Crosby and his agents say, look, we all discussed what was going to happen. I can't be football ready till June anyway, coming off the surgery. They knew that when the trade was made. So this whole thing about playing dumb about the health,
no, they're too good an organization. That's why, Rick, that's why.
I know.
That's why they're getting more of the scrutiny now. It's because we can't call you this great, and we think they're great. We can't call you this great organization that does all these things right. And then all of a sudden you have a moment that doesn't sound great. So for them, that's why I need to hear more. I need to hear more about what's happening here. I think the only thing that's going to solve it all, Rick, and put it to bed is if Crosby actually can't play this year. If he has a down year, then we'll all look back and say, maybe they knew more than we thought. Maybe they did better than this and that and the other. But if he goes out there in like October with that new revamped squad, by the way, you got to like what the Raiders are doing too. They have saddled up in some, Rick, here's the deal.
They spent a lot of money to a couple good players. The rest were stretches, but
here's the thing. I like what they did in getting Lauderbaum. But he broke the market though, Rick. Like he did way more than and Baltimore wanted to re-sign him. He wanted more than they were willing to pay.
And the Raiders said, "Here you go."
So in the very same way, it's like the Raiders like, we'll take him. And I like what the organization decided though is, and you know this too, Rick, as a player, and someone who follows the sport. Symmetry between your center and quarterback is everything.
It's gigantic.
It's humongous. If you don't believe, ask Jalen Hurts what Kelsey meant for him all those years. You can just understand how you go back to the Steelers and Bradshaw with Mike Webster. You talk about the Raiders teams with Jim Otto and Dwight Stevenson when he played for my Dolphins. It means everything. So I like that they've got a guy that's going to be fantastic for Mendoza. It's a great start for them.
It is.
So if you think about it, they they did overpay. Matter of fact, I heard different reports that the league was scratching their head going, you paid the center. What? What are you doing? Because those owners in the NFL, them bad boys, they don't want to spend 30 cents for a player. And I can tell you that. They grit their teeth. They grit their teeth every time they got to pay a player. And so when they go, you messed up the market. It's like, yeah, your billions are going to be compromised by paying a guy $5 more million. Get over yourself. But in Baltimore's case, they felt it wasn't worth it. And so the Raiders-Ravens squabble continues. I've got to look up when the schedule comes out. I could already see this to see if they play each other next year.
I wonder if they do.
I have to look that up and see.
Well, what do you like so far? I mean, there's always people just jump in when they have money, and usually the teams that spend the most don't have a lot of ROI the next year. Right. What do you like? What do you like so far? What were kind of stretches in your mind? Some of the
I love what the Rams did, Rick. They go out and they get McDuffie from the Chiefs. Now, keep in mind, the Rams teams are in different places. And so if you're the Rams, you've got Matthew Stafford, who has got a couple more bullets in the chamber left, right? He got a couple more years left. Yeah. And coming off of the MVP season, I'm not sure he's ever played better. And I was one of those few folks that watched him in Detroit. He stayed there with class and he banged through it. Couldn't have been more happy to see a guy get a Super Bowl with the Rams. Yeah. And this past season, Rick, you think back to the regular season game when they're playing Seattle, and if Shaheed doesn't return that kick and change the fortunes of that game, which in essence gave Seattle the division more so than them, and the Rams having to go on the road, I really feel that changed the fortunes of the Rams season. But the fact that they went out and got McDuffie from the Chiefs was a fantastic pickup. It was huge. Why is that? Because they're already a made team in a lot of ways. Yeah. They were in a situation where they were just wanting to try to tighten up some areas. And I feel like they made a fantastic move getting him. And it also was one where the Chiefs weren't willing to pay. They weren't willing to pay that much for him. And then so what the Chiefs ended up doing is changing up by getting Kenneth Walker from Seattle. So another move that I kind of look at and say, well, if you remember, we remember the late stuff, Rick, what we remember at the end. But during the season, I don't know that we were that excited about. No. Because, in fact, they had the two-back thing going.
He wasn't even the goal line back. Inside the 20, they took him out of the game.
Took him out. And then he caught lightning in a bottle. Now, we're going to see if he's going to be the new wheel or if he's going to be Larry Brown.
Yeah.
I knew you were going there. Yep. If he's going to be Larry Brown, hey, I got this, and okay, I'm cashing in and that. So we're going to see. Now, you get a feeling that with the Chiefs, though, they're pretty buttoned up, and Eric Bieniemy is back. And every time I've seen anything with Eric Bieniemy coaching people, it's not easy, and you're not going to get away with much. And so, and of course, Kelsey's back, and so they feeling like they can get another thing going. But so it's funny, when I think about the Chiefs, I see it differently than I see the Rams. I see the Rams as an experienced team that added a quality young piece. When I see the Chiefs, I don't see this being the same way, although there were people at number 9 that felt the Chiefs were going to be able to get Jeremiah Love. But after the combine, Jeremiah Love is not going to be around for the 9th pick.
No.
He's going to be long gone, whether it be the Giants, Jets, Cardinals, any of those teams, 3, 4, 5 up in that area. He will not be around for 9 unless the Chiefs trade up. And so I think they realize that and just, you know what, we probably need to go ahead and get Mahomes. In spirit, Rick, I like what they did because they need some running game. The question is this the guy we can count on to give it to you? And I see that as being an iffy deal. So I like what the Rams did. Here's a sneaky one too, Rick, that I think is going to be an okay one. It's so funny how the day before it happened, I wasn't sure. Tua from my Dolphins going to Atlanta. Now you say, wow, it's Tua, and fast break football a couple seasons ago, he was in the MVP conversation, and Of course, I remember, like most of us, those concussions that he had, and I remember him getting slammed to the turf in Cincinnati, and he had that prone position. That's a scary one. I thought, oh my goodness, can he even continue to play? And then he came back. He didn't even have the cushion helmet. He didn't even wear the protective helmet kind of thing. And so I was concerned for him, but he was playing a 1-2 drop back and get rid of a football game. Now he's going to go to Atlanta, where Stefanski is, and a myriad of weapons indoors on turf. So can he reclamate that? And in Atlanta's case, they've got Penix, another lefty who's recovering, who's also injury prone. If you're talking about a guy who for a 1-year deal, that's going to be a decent bridge, I don't hate that move. I think it's one where he can maybe find himself some footing and gets a few things going. So I don't hate what they've been able to do there as well, Rick. And then I would say the third thing is what I haven't seen a lot happen, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. I've not heard a thing, nothing. They've been as quiet as anybody, Rick. My concern with them is, and they've lost a couple pieces. I think they lost Dean and some others, but they already were pretty talented. The question now becomes, you didn't get A.J. Brown moved, so it's clear that you're going to be saddling back up with him, although, we still got the draft and things can happen then. I thought that the Eagles have stayed pat on things right now. I like what my Dolphins has done also, Rick, and getting Malik Willis. We saw it coming, though. I mean, they're Green Bay South right now. The coach, Hafley, the GM, they've made moves to get themselves squared away. I don't hate what they've been able to do as well. So when you start thinking about those are the ones top of mind. There's been so many moves. Those come to mind as some of the ones that I can kind of see as being not too bad.
Well, my Broncos and Seahawks are the only two teams that haven't signed a free agent. Yay!
Are you bothered about that?
I don't know. They re-signed a lot of the players that they wanted to come back. They like their core. Okay, but you're going to have a first-place schedule next year. And all of a sudden, you got a quarterback coming off an injury. Yeah. You need several. I think you needed something at tight end. They've just re-signed the guys they've had, so I don't see them making a move for a tight end. I don't know. I mean, some of they were tied to Travis at the end, but he got way too much money. He's been basically a bust since he got in the league. I mean, I think you wait for the first wave, right? The first couple of weeks, and then people usually, market's set now. Now we know what we can get for our price. So I don't know. We'll see. Seahawks doesn't surprise me. They've lost a lot, but they were just like, okay, we're good. They said we like Charbonneau better than Walker anyway. They were like, okay, we're good. We're good.
Well, it was clear because they talked about him being a free agent all through the offseason, and they never blinked. I mean, they never were kind of bothered about it at all. And Schneider's done a good enough job. You got to give him credit, like Howie Roseman with the Eagles. Yeah. There are some GMs that you say, you know what?
Right.
If he's good, then we're good. And also too, Rick, there is a component to building these rosters, and you and I have talked about this before, that you better have a blend of draft picks on rookie deals as well as veterans to make this money work. And in you all's case, which is a bit surprising, is
it's there now. Yeah.
You've got a rookie quarterback and you've got Russell Wilson's off the books. So all that albatross that was nothing. And him sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, are you going to just feel like the draft is going to be the way? And I think you got all your picks. I don't think you got all your picks, right? I'm pretty sure you do. So maybe you're feeling like maybe our development skills are not, but you can't do it totally one way. You can't be too old. You can't be too young. No. There's a blend that you got to have. And Bo Nix, this is year 3 coming up, right?
Year 3 coming up.
So this is the end of that. You're going to either have to extend him or franchise him coming up soon. So maybe they're just riding that wave. But again, Rick, for those who forgot, you were 1 quarter away with a backup quarterback before a snowstorm hits from going to the Super Bowl. And maybe you feel like if you didn't, I don't think you lost a few defensive pieces, I think. But I feel pretty good about where you guys are. But you brought up something. You're playing the number 1 schedule next year. You're going to play the schedule of a 1. So that means you'll play all the 1s in the AFC. Yeah. And I'm not sure, and we'll get into the schedules when they come out. I'm not sure who you all will play in the NFC this year. But I don't hate what Denver is, but it's kind of hard to think you go the whole off season with all this and not made one.
I know. I think it's the South. I think we're playing the South next year. I think we're playing in Carolina next year.
Carolina and the Saints. Yeah,
thinking about going there. It's
going to be in Carolina. Oh yeah, about every 8 years you'll get them. Yeah.
So I might do that. But anyway, yeah. So we shall see. I mean, you don't know. There's always going to declare the winners and the losers. Some of these contracts that are given out, and teams, they like guys. Some teams don't like guys. This is why the shopping is interesting every year. It's felt like more of a low key free agency. This is usually something that's celebrated. It's just been kind of happening, but it hasn't been. It hasn't felt the vibe hasn't been there this year.
Well, I think there's been a lot of noise though. Now, whether the noise has been like, oh, the elite, because I'm thinking about it's usually quarterbacks that garner a lot of the buzz.
Yeah.
And like right now, I think the only one that we're all kind of waiting on, and I think he's going today, is Kyler Murray, who still hadn't settled, who's going to be visiting the Vikings today. I'd be surprised and shocked if he doesn't land with Minnesota.
He won't leave the building. Yeah.
Andy Bitter's team. So Andy Bitter should be pretty happy when you get to talk to him at 7 o'clock.
I'm going to ask him about that. Yeah.
I think he mentioned it last week because I was listening too. I think Kyler Murray to the Vikings makes a ton of sense because I think first of all, he gets to use that elite speed. I bring up turf a lot. And for those who hate it like most that play football, there's no denying the amount of speed that you have on it. And I think having him inside that dome and playing in that division where you've got Detroit's also an inside place, even though you go outside for Chicago and Green Bay, I feel like he can have a great second act there. I think they've got great pieces in play. You got Justin Jefferson. You've got great coaches done a great job there of putting in position. I think the Vikings feel underwhelmed with what they've got at the quarterback position. They're not going to admit it, Rick. They're not. But they let the good guy go. He goes and wins a ring. They're like, we got to get this thing fixed. And J.J. McCarthy, he's just going to have to figure it out. And and by the way, you sign Kyler Murray, there is no competing for the job. He's going to get the job. He's not coming there to compete for no job. He's not. And I think Kyler Murray is going to be enough of a guy. And, we've read the reports, Rick. He's not the nicest dude. He's a little surly. So he's not going to come in there and sit on somebody's bench and be anything but sour. So you can bring him in and you give him the job. I think he deserves it. He's a number 1 overall pick, Rick. He really, say what you want. It didn't work out great in the Cardinals. He's got some talent. He's a problem. You ask Coach Elmo and you ask these guys, what kind of quarterback keeps you up at night? The guy that can do 2 things. He can throw it and he can run it. And I just feel like I don't know why it ended like it did with Arizona. I just thought it was going to work out great there with Kingsbury and them. And they just, Rick, they were aligned and then they weren't. I mean, I don't know that we ever heard why they weren't, but they weren't. And so I think that's why some of the buzz may have been a little tempered, Rick, is because it wasn't as many big name quarterbacks as we are used to. A defensive tackle being signed. Okay. An edge rusher I saw with Chubbs going to the Bills from Miami. Okay. Kelsey's re-signing with the Chiefs. Okay. But I think inside people's buildings, they were checking a lot of the boxes of need, but they probably aren't as sexy as we would normally would see. And of course, we have the every spring Aaron Rodgers watch that he just keeps his team sitting over there while all this is happening. And he just, I'm going to decide if I'm going to play. The Steelers just sit there and just kind of like, I guess he'll come back. I just don't know why he does that every year. If he's going to play,
make a decision. Make your decision.
It's just annoying. Yeah.
I think Murray will spend more time in the Vikings' purple medical tent than he will on the field. That's my prediction.
Small quarterbacks, man, they make it tough. Rick, another sneaky sign. Who was talking about quarterbacks. I noticed this one yesterday that the Colts re-signed Daniel Jones. And so Daniel Jones got a 2-year, $88 million deal, $50 million guaranteed, coming off of that injury.
Insane.
He's hurt a lot. Now, here's what the Colts. Now, watch devil's advocate. It's my favorite lane to play in. So here's the Colts side of it. We were 8-1, and on our Hot 4, Rick, that we do every week, the Colts were at the top of the Hot 4, and they should have been. They were playing really well. Taylor was running the ball well. They had great balance. You had the tight end, gosh, it escapes me now. They came in from Penn State, tore up the league. And so they were rolling. And then when he wasn't there, the precipitous fall, right? And so the Colts are saying to themselves, I think we've got the guy. We don't need to go out here and try to scrounge and find somebody. We're going to play the long game here and sign him. You got to keep him healthy. You've got to keep him healthy. And so you better spend up front to keep him buttoned up. He's an athletic guy. He's had these leg injuries. In fact, Rick, one of the reasons he may have gotten hurt, he was actually playing through a fracture in one leg when he messes around and I think tears his Achilles. And so they re-signed him. I don't hate the move because if you're the Colts, Rick, wasn't a big quarterback pool. The draft isn't great this year. You've seen a sample of it to know what you think you can be. And so, I think we always look at Daniel Jones and wonder, how's this guy getting all this money? He is parlaying himself into the Kirk Cousins of the NFL because we have perceptions on what we think people should be paid.
He's available
I think
now.
In his particular case, how about that? There's another one. There's enough. He's gonna get another check, isn't he? He's gonna.
You would think. Check. Why wouldn't somebody take Kirk Cousins? He got so railroaded in Atlanta by a horrible coach and a worse GM. And I mean, he was as patient as he could have been. I mean, he's got another payday. Yeah, he's got another payday coming, I would think.
Well, I don't know where he's going to put the rest of that money. He has worked it out. Maybe he's going to bring it to your house. He has worked.
Oh, it'd be great.
He has worked it out like nobody's business, and so I'll be interested to see where he lands as well. But I think, don't you get the sense that everyone now has kind of rallied all their main players? And now they're moving to the draft. Now it's ancillary pieces that they're going to be putting in place. And now they're focusing on draft picks and moving people around, because I really think that this is just phase one of roster building. I think the next phase now is, okay, major players have been assigned to their places. Now let's move on to the draft and use the players we might want to get maybe around picks in the draft. And so that may be what happens now, that somebody may select someone that someone can't get. Now that may be where Crosby ends up getting moved. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to give you this player for that kind of thing. So if you're the Raiders right now and other teams, I feel like right now that's kind of where I see it landing. And we'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah, that's going to be strange to see how that develops with Crosby. The Raiders said, we don't want you anymore here. Oh, welcome back.
Yeah.
He loves Vegas, but I don't know, man. It's going to be crazy to see how that plays out. I'm with you on that. I still think A.J. Brown will be moved at some point. I think things are happening behind the scenes there with him. But I don't know. You're right. I think you hit it on the head, though, man. It just feels like there's no big name, no quarterbacks. I mean, Walker, he was the highest paid running back, but he's not a big name running back. He's coming off a great game in the Super Bowl, but he's not like a super mega. So this isn't Saquon Barkley we're talking about here. So, yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think it's just because it's like,
Well, then, Rick, and then there's the absurd. I don't want to call it absurd, meaning he can't play, but then there's Geno Smith going back to the Jets. I mean, again, you can pick some of these things and you say to yourself, okay, now you talked about Kirk Cousins being available. You talked about Tua. You talked about drafting, and the Jets, I think they're going to have an early pick. Of course they are. And they decide that they're going to go with Geno Smith, coming off of a horrific season with a horrific team. So Geno Smith, to me, when he played for Seattle 2 years ago, showed what he could be. But what did that team have? Incredible complementary football, fantastic defense, solid running game. Geno thrives in it. What happens when he goes to the Raiders? Not so much of any of that, and we saw what he is. Now you're going to the Jets. What makes you think that the Jets is going to be any different than he was with the Raiders?
Right.
Same kind of program, Rick. Same kind of program. So now I don't know if the Jets is feeling. Now, what choices did they have? There was a Justin Fields experiment. That didn't go well. Tyrod Taylor, our Virginia Tech's own, who's done a great job carving himself into a long NFL career. But Tyrod would probably be the first to tell you, I would love being a backup for these at this particular point in my career. Yeah. Although the competitor in him will have him playing because he's always answered the bell and done a great job. But Geno Smith as your lead quarterback for the Jets. Now you're trying to rate. Meanwhile, across town, the Giants, now they're doing things. You got Dart, you got Harbaugh. They signed, by the way, talking about tight ends. Harbaugh took his boy Isaiah Likely from Baltimore to the Giants. Tremaine Edmonds, let go by Chicago, signs with the Giants. And so the Giants are making moves. Scatterboo's going to be back. Malik Neighbors is going to be back. I'm telling you right now, here's an early one for you. Bookmark this. Giants might win that division. Might win that division.
We got it right here, folks.
Might win that division. Here's what's funny. The doggone Eagles are messing around, and we aren't sure what's going to happen with them. There's more questions than answers with them. Now, can they rally and become great? Yes. Is that offensive line in Philly what it once was? No, right? So we're going to see if they're going to have a resurgence or if this is going to be year 2 of hangover kind of deal with no A.J. Brown. So we're going to see. Meanwhile, there's Dallas reworking some contracts, trying to get in the mix a little bit. They were in the Crosby sweepstakes for a moment, Rick, which is
they could come back. They could come back. Who knows? Yeah.
So why don't we get Crosby after we let Michael Parsons go? It's just absurd. You had him. So let's go get Crosby. Now let's get somebody who's 5 years older.
Oh, we already 30.
We already had the guy here. We could have just paid him and been done with that. So let's get the edge rusher that we just let go. That kind of thing. But Geno to the Jets had me intrigued in a weird kind of way. And so I'm interested to see what the Jets fans are thinking about that, because it doesn't sound very sexy to me when you start the season. No. I think Geno's going to be 36 years old.
Boy, right? That's going to sell tickets. Woo.
Oh, God.
Got to go see Geno.
Listen, and poor Aaron Glenn, he got a second year. And boy, when he says to himself, I got to go with this guy for my second year. Again, prove us wrong, Geno. Go ahead and prove us wrong, brother.
Well, and it shows you, too, before we head out, we've been talking about how bad this quarterback class is after the Raiders take Mendoza. There's nobody there.
Not this year.
This year that you're looking at. You think you could even draft and say we can develop? I mean, there's nothing. There's nobody. This is the worst quarterback draft I think I've ever seen in my lifetime, maybe. Because usually you have maybe 2 or 3 guys. There's only one.
Yeah, and he is zooming to the top, and like I said, whoever 2, 3, 4, and 5 is, they're going to have to surprise us. They'll be the guy that'll go into a game, and no disrespect to any of these schools, but 5th round pick out of Toledo, and he's tearing it up. Who? It'd be one of those that will kind of go. Yeah. I mean, and that can happen. That can happen.
Sure,
but boy, it's going to have to come out of nowhere, because you're going to have to go deep into the pool to find out what's happening with that. Because and I'll leave you with this particular one. We're talking about different free agents that we think have made a difference. The NFC West was already a headbanger, Rick, and now the Niners get Mike Evans from Tampa, a fantastic pick if he can stay on the field. He's a Hall of Fame. He's Hall of Fame worthy, Rick. He's got, I think, 10 or 11 1,000-yard seasons or something. Last year was the first year he didn't get it. He's 32. And the reason I bring up the Niners is you mentioned quarterback out of nowhere. Well, there's a Niners as an example. There's a Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He has parlayed that into a successful career. But there aren't going to be another 5 Brock Purdys out there this year. There's not going that I see. I would be surprised, if not shocked, if that happens. And so one can only hope that happens, because they are not sitting on Front Street. They are sitting on Back Street, if they are out there at all, brother. And so it'll be interesting. But Rick, you and I we've been wrong before.
Of course.
And that's why we get on this thing and yell about all this stuff. Because Because one thing about the NFL, most of the time we're kind of off on some of it, but a lot of the times we're right too.
A lot of the times we're right. That's right.
A lot of the times we're right. Yes, sir.
Well, good stuff, man. Good to have you. Next week, we'll rant about UNC Greensboro and Mike Jones.
This segment's not big enough for that.
No, that takes a whole segment, man.
Love Mike Jones, man. Spoke to him yesterday. Spoke to him on text. Yeah, spoke to him on text yesterday, man, and he's in a great place. And somebody's going to get a fantastic person. I'm just telling you guys right now. He and his wife Sharon and those kids, they're fabulous people. And UNCG. I don't know who you think you are. Listen, I loved it. I thought it was a great program. I thought it was a great fit. I know it was a great fit. All he did was win how many games, Rick?
In 3 straight years. He averaged 22 wins for those 3 years. Last year had a down year. Okay.
Listen.
Got to the semifinals. Yeah.
One bid leagues have got to get over themselves.
I know.
It's hard to win it. He was here at Radford with great teams. It's hard to believe. Javonte Green didn't get to the tournament. It happens.
No.
It wasn't that he wasn't great. He did. I watched those games. You're talking about I would say to you this. If Duke had to have a one-and-done situation, they wouldn't make it to every tournament.
No.
It's hard to get to every tournament.
It's hard.
Don't know.
Very hard.
Rick, it's impossibly hard. That I would just tell folks it is impossible. And I will stand on that hill all day long and chant and rant and rave about the fact that if everybody in the big boys had to go through one-and-dones to get to the tournament, they too would miss a lot of them. I can tell you that. Think back,
no doubt.
And I'll go be nostalgic and get off of here. You go back to that Maryland NC State game where Tom McMillan and Lynn Elmore played in the epic game, and the loser didn't go to the tournament, and Maryland loses in overtime to State, and State goes on to win. They don't even get in.
They wouldn't get in.
And that changed, and that actually changed the NCAA process.
It did.
So that just speaks to what it is. And so we'll also park this too, because I know you rant and raved about not wanting to expand the tournament.
No.
And so we'll have to live with this. So, okay, UNCG, since we're not going to expand the tournament, have some levity for your coaches that are doing a great job.
I know. Great.
There you go.
Well said.
I'm over it, bro.
Me too. All right, brother. You have a good weekend. We'll reconvene next week. We'll see if anything develops with the NFL and elsewhere. So
sounds great, man. Appreciate the time, bro.
All right, man. You take care. Stay safe.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. All right.
Yes, sir.
Great stuff from David Smith, our NFL correspondent, David Smith. That's awesome. Yeah, it would take too much time to get into the conversation we need to have about Mike Jones. I've been pretty adamant about how I feel about this whole thing with Mike. Good luck, UNCG. Good luck with that. Letting that guy go. He'll be somewhere very soon. Very, very soon. Andy Bitter will join us next. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank the NRB Super Bowl, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. Thanks to Top Shelf Apparel, Family Fencing for our studio, McClellan Chiropractic for our text line, which is always popping. Professional Door, sponsor of our text line at 540-391-0788. If you want to join our tournament challenge, just hit me up there. I'll send you the link. Presented every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Still waiting to hear back from Stacy Compton when he's going to be on to talk about the IHRA partnership. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street. The attorney Ryan Pry in Radford for our BDST fan question of the week. National Bank, member FDIC, our exclusive banking partner. The Ready Set Fund just helped Floyd County girls set a record with the money that they have raised. And Sundown Electric, great reputation, long list of satisfied clients. And we appreciate Jeff Smith and everybody at Sundown for their support. Again, happy birthday, Wayne. I see you're here. I'll give you your birthday present a little bit later on. Thanks to David Smith, Alex Guerra coming up along with Dwight Vick. And joining us now, it's that guy. It's Andy Bitter from Tech Sideline. What's up, AB? How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. How was your ACC tournament experience?
Oh, I didn't go.
No, you didn't go? I thought you were going down there.
No, I actually went to the casino with AMAC.
That's it. Well, tell us about your experience.
Well, no, I based on my results there, I probably should have gone to the ACC tournament. So would have saved some money in that case.
Well, that's even a better alternative. That's great. That's great. All right. Well, tell us your opinion now. Tech, of course, they're out of the tournament. We know that, but all this, man, there's a lot of noise around Mike Young. What have you heard? I know Chris has said that he's going to get an extension. I guess that's going to happen here in a few days. And do you think that should happen at this point for Virginia Tech and Mike Young?
Well, I think he's got, 1 year left?
1 year left, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you either got to fire him or extend him. I don't know if you go into a 1 year lame duck coach. Although then again, I don't know if that matters these days. You know, every year is 1 year. Year to year with these teams, these rosters. I don't think you sign a guy out of high school and you go, oh man, I don't know if the coach is going to be there when I'm going to finish. It's like, what are the odds you're going to finish at this school? So, I think the key is to look at whatever they do with an extension is the key would be what did they do with the buyout? Because you can extend it and alter the language in the buyout. And if it doesn't change the buyout or it lowers the buyout in some way, then that's maybe an indication that it's not really going to be a long-term thing. It's more for appearances. But, again, I think Mike Young is a good coach. I just think they need the players on the roster. And this year, it sounds like an excuse, but you go, man, the injuries
I know
mounted on that team. It just like one after another, like they were, when they have their actual starting lineup together for like 15 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's tough when you don't have the full deck of cards and you're a school like Virginia Tech. And then, you look at the Neo side of things. I mean, he was supposed to be the star guy and he doesn't even play for the last 12 minutes of their last game. In crunch time, it didn't quite materialize like they hoped it would. I mean, you take a shot at it, you hope, you do your best with it. And I think Mike Young's still the best guy to lead this program.
And that was the first year he's had any money to play with like that, to find players to bring in. And maybe the evaluation wasn't what it should be. Maybe it's rushed. It feels like it has to be rushed now because everybody's trying to get in on the same people, even though if it's an international player. Maybe you don't take the time, right? You can't take the time. Can't afford to, right? You may not get to know a guy. So you're right. You just hit on a couple of those guys and see what happens. Do you know any type of percentage of the money? People have been asking me to ask you about. I know all of it's going to go to football just about, but with all this new money, have they said how much they might commit to basketball? I haven't seen anything about that.
I'm not sure. I don't even know what to believe with these numbers. I know people throw them around and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would just be venturing a guess. So I'd probably be wrong. So I'm not even going to try to venture a guess. It was more than it was before. They made a substantial increase this season. I think you saw that. It was a more competitive roster. It sounds like they're going to continue to, put more of an investment into the program. And you have to these days. You can't sit there and be like, well, we're going to do it on the cheap and, try to win this with a cheap roster. That just doesn't work these days. So we'll see what they do. We'll see. Not only do you have to get the money, you have to spend the money in the right places. And we'll see how it goes next season.
I know you don't want the bigger playoff for football. What do you think about all this chatter about the tournament expanding? It's dominated even this final week of the big Power 4 tournaments next year. It seems like it's gaining momentum. Is that something does that bother you as much as seeing the football go to 24 to 16 on the playoff? I mean, what do you think is going to happen there?
I mean, not as much, but look at the bubble this year. We're adding 8 more teams. I hate to say it, but Virginia Tech does not belong in this tournament. And if you add 8 teams,
right,
they might be in the tournament. What are we doing? We've proven this isn't a tournament team with how they've played all season. I mean, you look at this year, I argue for contraction of the tournament. Go back to 64, make this thing a little bit more of a round number. It's going to expand. If it goes to 76, I won't hate it. I'm not going to like it, but if they add like another venue like Dayton and do, 4 more play-in games because they can sell the hell out of those games.
They can.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it might be. So be it. But it's some of these expansion talks like going to 96 or something like that. Like everybody gets a first round bye. It's like we've already decided these games during the regular season. We've seen these games at the conference tournaments. It's not fun to watch. These mediocre teams go up against each other, and they would just be adding more of those games. I like the argument is that, this could get more mid-majors in. It's like, no, it's not.
No,
that's not the direction that the league is moving. The power conferences want these because it would add more of their teams, and they can control the thing to get more of their teams in. It's like we don't need around 500 Auburn.
No.
In this thing, they might make the field right now because the bubble is so bad. I don't want to see more of those teams in the tournament. So
agreed.
I'd be against this, but I don't have a vote, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. You're right. It's all about the power schools and more money. I don't want to watch, Tuesday nights in the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament, right? I don't want to see teams that shouldn't be there. Yeah, but it's going to happen. And then
look at the ACC teams that might get in. If they do this, I think SMU is going to get the regular field, but it'd be like Virginia Tech, Stanford, Cal.
Yeah,
all these teams that lost on Tuesday and Wednesday at the ACC tournaments. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why we want more of these teams in what's supposed to be your premier event.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Well, you're getting buckled up now for football coverage, right? Have you guys been told yet? Will you be able to watch any of it? Practice is coming up. Have you gotten any info? What's your hopes about that?
I don't know. They haven't told us. It only starts next Wednesday. Why would they tell us what's going on there?
You're less than a week out. Why would you need to know? Right?
I know some of us do have families to plan stuff around. It would be nice to know exactly what they're doing. But I would imagine it's going to be some of it. I can imagine it's not going to be a lot. But we'll take what we take or take what we get and go from there. That's how it operates.
Yeah, you're right. Excitement, though, is massive for it. What's your best guess on how the spring? It's an impossible answer, but what do you think going to look like for the spring crowd? Weather's going to determine a lot. He keeps pushing for 66,000. I don't think that's going to happen. But what do you think? What do you think that's going to look like?
Yeah, it is. I liken it to minor league baseball. Attendance is almost entirely dependent on the weather.
Yeah.
And if you get a 75-degree day, a lot of people will be like, hey, I might just go out to this free event at Lane Stadium and check it out. You're not going to get 65, 66, whatever they're pushing for.
No.
His goal is to get as big of a crowd as possible. If it's a really nice day and it's free and it's the middle afternoon like that, I could see them getting 40. I would be more tempted to take the under on that number. Just historically, they haven't come close to that. And even on nice days, it's been, I hate spring game attendance numbers trying to estimate it.
I know.
Because people always overestimate it. Like, you're insane. This is 50,000 strong. It's like half the stadium's empty, guys. They don't even open up half the thing. Somebody said one of the things says Brent Bry got 35,000 his first year. I do not believe that number for a second. There's no way they got 35,000. They always overcount that number. So if they get 30, that'd be a great crowd. If they got 40, which I think they could if it's nice out, I think that they could get that number. But the 65 is that's a pipe dream. I'll eat crow if they get 65, but that has to be the perfect storm of everything coming together.
Brandon says the prediction is 43K. I wonder what they're basing that number on.
I think if it's nice, they could get that number. Again, I would trust these numbers like WWE heights and widths. I don't believe these numbers for a second that they put them out there.
Yeah, that would be a big crowd for a spring game. That would be. Oh, it's your personal opinion. Okay, I thought maybe they had issued what they were hoping. Okay, 43K. Well, we'll see. Weather's going to determine it all. No doubt about that. And we'll see what. I hope you guys get some. I like to see stuff. I hope they let stuff be seen. It's one thing to be told how guys are doing, but like you say, you got to get your eyes on it, see what it looks like, get some video on it. But that probably won't happen.
Well, here's the thing: is that everybody wants it right now. Fans, media alike. So I don't know why you'd restrict that at this point. I'd be doing everything I could right now because this is an audience that's primed for it, right? They want to see this whole thing. They want to, consume every bit of media about this team because they really believe in Franklin, rightfully so, that he's going to get this thing turned around. You haven't lost a game yet. You haven't played a game yet. So that's
right.
That's a really good time as a head coach to take advantage of all the positive press that you can.
No doubt.
So, man, I'd be doing more. I'd be putting stuff out there all the time. Obviously, I'm saying this from a biased opinion as a media member who'd like to see this whole thing. But I think the regular fan would like to see quite a bit of this too.
Well, no, that makes perfect sense, and you're exactly right. Because if he's out saying we're going to get 66,000, okay, what are you doing to try to get 66,000 there? Right? Just because you say it, you're going to will it into reality? No, you have to say, hey, fans, look at what we got here. Yeah, do something to show people the car you're trying to sell and how it handles in rainy terrain. Don't just tell us, show us. And I think you're right. They got to do a little more than just trying to say, this is what we want. So come on out. Come on out.
Well, the flip side is they could be mysterious about it and say, if you want to come see us, this is your chance.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't seen anything all spring, but this is your chance. We're going to put it out there for everybody to see. Now, I hope they don't do that. I think it's probably smarter to go the other route, but I could also see the argument there.
Yeah, Wayne's right too. The local crowd will be huge for it because the hotels are always overpriced and people may not want to do it.
That's the thing. How easy do they make it? The hotels are rough if you're trying to stay overnight. At 3:00, I guess you could come down just for the day. They put it in the middle of the day, so I don't know if you want to do that in one day. What's parking like? It's gonna be free parking. Have they said that yet? That was a big mistake a couple of years ago. I thought they made because they charged admission, and then they charged an even more astronomical price to park.
Right.
It's like, do you want people at this thing or not? Like this is a showcase opportunity for your team. in the spring. And like, honestly, this is how you like hook young kids into this thing. How many parents would take their kids down? If it costs money to get in, if it's free, I don't have to pay $10 for all my 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and stuff like that. Yeah, take them in. This is a cheap way to get them to see Lane Stadium.
Absolutely. Get young people there. It's a great point. Kids get excited. So maybe that's what parents are going to do. They're going to look at that as that opportunity. So David Smith was on our NFL guy. I wanted to ask you about Kyler Murray potentially in Minnesota. Is that going to make you happy? Vikings guy?
As best as you can. I would not feel great about going into another season with just JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I didn't like the other options out there right now, like Tua and Geno Smith, who have found homes here.
Yeah.
Listen, Kyler Murray has got some skills. And
he does.
You put him with Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and Hawkinson and have Darius up protecting his blind side, and he can make things happen. I think he can go out there and make some plays. And I think Kevin O'Connell can do his best with this quarterback. You've seen him get the best out of Sam Darnold in the past and other guys that he's put in there that you go, these guys aren't that good, and they put up numbers. So I'd be okay with it. I hope it happens.
Well, I think it will. Feels like he's the kind of guy.
They can sign him for like $1 million.
Yeah, you get him in. Yeah, exactly. You get him in the building. He's not going to leave, and you just say, "Okay, let's work this thing out. You're going to be our guy." Yeah.
They can sign him for a year. He can do real well. They can not re-sign him. Then he can go somewhere else and win the Super Bowl. That's how it works. That's the Vikings way.
You bring him in, and then he's going to do okay, and then be gone, So coverage next week. You're not vacating, are you? Are you going to hang around for spring, or are you going to get out before it really kicks in?
No, I'll be around. Not going anywhere yet. Summer is more of our plan.
Yeah, just get out and about. I still have to get you the Twins jersey too that I have, so it's nice. I got to get you that. One of our listeners gave you a Twins jersey. Gave me a Twins jersey to give you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I'll get that to you here soon. All right, man. Well, listen, have a great weekend. Enjoy the end of the ACC tournament. We'll see how it plays out. Duke doesn't have their guard. Probably Duke and Virginia in the final again, you think? Probably.
Maybe. Duke's got a lot of injuries right now. I'll be really interested to watch this Florida State Duke game. No, Florida State's playing pretty well right now. I think they played Duke tough earlier this season, I want to say. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Unless somebody can fact check me on that. They lost by 40, actually. I don't know. Florida State's just playing well lately. And I wouldn't go out there and say a 9 seed or 8 seed, whatever it is going to upset the number one seed or number one team in the country. But with the injuries that Duke has, and I don't know, we'll see. That's the beauty of one and done tournament play.
And today feels like the old days. Today's the traditional quarterfinal game that we used to always miss school for, right? This is it right here today.
Well, people would always say they'd like wheel in the the TV, the TV on the wheel, the stand that they'd wheel in for ACC country. In Minnesota, that was the high school state tournament, hockey tournament.
Of course, yeah. There you go.
So I remember that distinctly whenever I went to Eden Prairie High School. Whenever Eden Prairie was in the tournament, it's like, all right, we're going to watch this on the rolling TV.
You're watching hockey, yeah.
I guess ACC fans have the same experience down here.
That's cool. Are you
somebody on there says not in Blacksburg. So that's true. I don't think that was not the history of Virginia Tech. They weren't in the ACC.
That's right. Yeah, it never happened.
You go to the OG ACC schools and
that's right.
Do some of that.
Are you a Wild fan? You like the Minnesota all the way through, or?
I am. I mean, I don't care about them.
Right.
I kind of gave up on hockey when they moved the North Stars. I'm like, all right, I just don't have enough bandwidth to pay attention to all this.
100%. I understand. All right, man. Well, have a good weekend. Enjoy the hoops, and we'll reconvene next week. And hey, we'll be into football, so that's great.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. Take care. Good stuff as always. AB and AMAC in the casino. I bet that was fun. I bet that was a fun night. I haven't talked to AMAC in too long. I just like to have him on a chat. I don't know what he's doing now. All right, Wayne, you're here now. So I want to wish you a very sincere and happy birthday. Here you go. There you go, Wayne. I found the most beautiful person that I know you have eyes for, and I know it's that guy. There you go. Mr. Poison yourself. Happy birthday. I went through Farrah. I went through Olivia, but I said, you know what? I think Wayne would love to see him some Bret Michaels. Happy birthday and many more from all of us here at BDST and from Bret himself. I know right now you're probably just can't take your eyes off the abs, or maybe it's the leopard jacket and headband. I'm not sure. But there you go. That's your birthday gift from me. I wish I could have put the name Wayne on there, but that's all you, man. If you want me to send you that picture later, let me know. Remember, that guy and his band didn't rhyme in their most popular song. Happy birthday, Wayne. I hope your birthday goodies include lots of the classic Hot Wheels that you're now trying to obtain. Alex Guerra joins us coming up. Dwight Vick. Yeah, he just wants a good time. That's all he wants. Nothing but a good time. That's right. I mean, that's the only thing that he wants. It's nothing but a good time. That's good stuff. Good stuff. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Sundown Electric. They're our newest sponsor. We always have room for more if anybody wants to talk to people or send them my way. We have so many people that support this program that have a great reputation. The people, as soon as I mentioned Sundown was going to join and be part of one of our partners, people were like, oh my goodness, those guys are great. Those two guys, Jeff Smith and his brother, doing what their dad had done. So that's awesome. Awesome stuff. I thought so. Thank you. You're welcome, Wayne. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for me. I think that was a pretty good gift too. It came from the heart, Wayne. Came from the heart. Ready, Set, Fun, ReadySetFun.com. Bob Chris, BOBCRST11 at Gmail. They just raised $4,300 in 5 days for the updated tally for the Floyd County's girls softball team. It's awesome. Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated, 38 years in business. Travis Williams, great guy, great business. If you have a problem, if you want a garage door, you want a new one, your old one's not working, call those guys, please. Please. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me and this program. The Ryan Pry attorney, the Ryan Pry. Sponsor of our fan question of the week. Trust at Estate Planning, 701 West Main Street in Radford. Well, we'll have to come up with a new question next week because when Tech lost, that pretty much destroyed the question we had this week. It was how many wins they would need in the ACC tournament to make the big dance. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. They are the absolute best at what they do. Yes, I will endorse them that way and mean it. Big Dog Sports Talk is presented every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. We want to thank Tim and Jonathan. Still trying to get Stacy Compton's schedule worked out. It may be a next week thing at this point. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, 155 Walters Drive. Going to go see him here in a couple weeks. We're going to film for about 10 minutes, me going through all the stuff that he has. They don't crack you anymore like with their hands and stuff. They just put you through the machinery. You're going to hear a lot of screaming. And Family Fencing, sponsor of our studio, 540-200-8294. FamilyFencingNRV.com. Reach out to Jason Green. So that's great. It was a great gift. I think it was. I think most of the guys on the roster are gone. That's just the way it is. That's just the way business is done. There's no doubt Hammond's going to be gone. I think you're going to have to go into it. Every coach is telling me that you go into it now expecting to lose at least 12 guys every year. I mean, you might get lucky. You might have guys that like where they are and want to come back and negotiate. But it's all about where they're going to get paid. It is about how much they're going to play, but they're worried about pay. It goes in the opposite order. It's not necessarily playing time. It's, okay, so what am I going to get now? I've been in the Power Four for 1 year. See, and that's something else Mike Young's going to have to adjust to that he hasn't ever had to adjust to this point, losing everybody. Yeah, there you go. See, every rose has its thorn. Like every night has its dawn. Thorn, dawn. Dawn, thorn. No. Just like every cowboy sings his sad, sad song, every rose has its thorn. Song, thorn. See? No birthday cake for Brett Michaels. Yeah, I'm telling you, right? I mean, look at that dude. I mean, come on. Look at those abs. Lots of drugs. Lots of wild women, but no cake. And for God's sake, stay away from Greece. That's funny. Spend your money. I guess it's tough. You have to start earlier. Tech was new at it. Perfect lyrics, he says. I think the thing to worry about, well, I don't know if you're worried about it or not. I think Mike Young's going to have a decision to make here. I don't think this is as much of a slam dunk as people think. We'll see. Maybe it is. And then you have to come down to the decision as a Tech fan. Is Mike Young the guy you want going forward in the new era? Cowboys sing sad songs every year and have for the last 30 years. They really do. They really, really do. Yeah, the BYU dude is good. Is he going on his mission? Is that what he's doing for me? Did they talk about that? Is that why he's not going in the league? Is he going on his mission? Is that right? Yeah, I get that, Wayne. I was told that they'd already discussed it and they were going to accept the bid if it comes. NIT changed. Oh, so he's still going? Okay. I wasn't sure. I know there was some talk there. And I know he's very strong in his faith. I didn't know how that was going to work out. So that'll help the top of the NBA draft even more, but yeah. I think a lot of Tech fans hope they pass on the NIT, but I don't think they will. I think Mike Young's a competitor, and I think he wants to go and try to win more games. Maybe build on what you're doing for next year. Maybe it gives you more time to – I don't know. So yeah. I know these guys are going to make a lot of money, a lot more money than they're making now at their school. But going to the NBA, what's that going to mean? That means they're just going to kind of get thrown into that environment and that whole reality and just become like everybody else, lazy, entitled. Yeah. Someone told Tebow that Boozer wasn't all that. I told him I was going to check on a doctor for him to see. Yeah, Boozer's really good. I agree. He's really, really good. Really good. Dwight Vick joins us at the top of the hour. Good stuff from David Smith and Andy Bitter. Yeah, I agree, Chris. I don't know. Anybody who's saying that he's not, they're wrong. All right, we're going to switch gears now. Sticking ball sports here, blossoming at Radford. Like everything was blossoming until this cold spell that's going to hit for the next 6 days, which sucks. But anyway, Alex Guerra, he's the head baseball coach at Radford University. What's up, AG? Good morning, brother.
Good morning, Rick.
How are you? How are you?
This weather is brutal.
No, what happened? What in the world? We're sitting there on Tuesday and 73, and we got baseball, Williams Field, we got the bright sunshine, and now here we are 2 days later. It's going to get down to 39 today. What are we doing?
Oh my God, brutal.
Well, congratulations. I know. What? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I couldn't believe the weather. Shift told me yesterday it was going to be like, we're going to cold front it. And I'm thinking like, 55. No, I think we're going to have to be inside. So yeah, we'll be inside today before we head over to Winthrop tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, congrats. That was a terrific baseball game. Early season, midweek, a lot of times you don't get that. You've been through a lot of them as a player and a coach. But my goodness, that was fun. And what you got out of Matthew Lefevers, you got 5 innings. I know you expected him to throw well, but my goodness, he was outstanding, wasn't he?
He was awesome, especially for a kid who hadn't pitched in, my goodness, almost 7 or 8 games.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Matt's a kid that, let's not forget what he did for us last year. Coming in as a freshman, jumping in that starting pitching role on the weekend during critical series where we really needed to turn it on.
Yeah.
And he showed tremendous toughness, and he's a competitor. He's an awesome dude. And he's gotten better. The velo's up to 88, 89.
Yeah, he did.
Touching some 90s. His stuff has gotten better. His breaking ball is getting better, but he just does what he did on Tuesday, what he's done ever since he showed up. Competed, mixed pitches, both sides of the plate, kept guys off balance, gave our team a chance to win, which he's done every time he's touched the ball. And I told him this early on in the preseason, like, hey, man, I haven't forgotten about you. We have not forgotten all the things that you've done for this program in this short time, and he's continued to improve, and he's an awesome midweek starter. He's a guy that's going to be in, or I foresee being in that role for the duration of this season, and very similar to like in 2015. Not that we're there yet, but very similar to 2015. We had a kid by the name of Zach Ridgely, who had a heck of a career here. And as a freshman, he started on the weekdays and gave us a chance to win. So he was excellent. It was an awesome start, like 55 pitches and 5 innings. That's your dream. Isn't it?
Come on.
Sitting up there in that booth.
Yeah, you're just like, well, this is great. And then you had great support behind him. I thought the bullpen did a great job. And boy, Trey's starting to Trey Ludy looking like 2025 Trey Ludy now.
Yes,
he's coming on. He's coming on.
He's really coming on. He's getting a velo, another velo tick, jumping in his fastball up to 91, 92. The breaking ball is awesome. You saw that the other night. We were able to bring him in mid batter. But Millie coming in, doing a great job at a critical point in the lineup. Same thing with Will Palmer. I thought that game was really, really solidified in that 6, 7 and 2/3 innings there with the job that Josh Melville and Will Palmer did to kind of getting us through some critical spots in the order. Ike's very big on kind of mixing his lineup. and making different moves. So like you got to really somewhat kind of be a step ahead of them as far as trying to manage the game. So I thought those guys did an awesome job. We were able to mix and match and bring those guys in. So excited about the way we played. More than anything, I'm really happy by the way that we responded after our really difficult game on Saturday against Western.
Yeah.
My goodness. But, I thought this has been a resilient group, and they've really they really did a good job responding back.
Well, and I was down there on the field and I was just trying to get an update on guys, and you had a great meeting. I'm not going to share the meeting. You can talk about it as you feel fit, but I thought you had a great message for your team in the dugout with everything that is still going on and will always be part of this team going forward. But with Joey, but you kind of, it was a nice wake up call you gave them, I thought, and I think they really received the gist of it. I thought you handled that really, really well from what I could
hear. Thank you. So, I look, at the end of the day, I felt like it was twofold, right? Like we have this thing that has happened. It's heavy, and everybody's hits you at different times, and we're all grieving together, and it's a process, right? At the same time, we've got to jump back into it, and we cannot rob ourselves the opportunity to show how resilient you are.
Right.
And the best way you can honor your teammate is by going out there and playing with the style and identity that he was and what he would want. Joe and I used to joke about this all the time. Joey would go and like, man, like he doesn't yell. He doesn't yell as much as I thought he would. I wish he kind of would. Not to talk about me at all, anything like that, but Joey would. He demanded that you played a certain way, for sure, and I know that he would not have been very happy with the way we played on Saturday. So, with that being said, it was a time for our team to have a little bit of a wake up call in a real positive but urgent way, and at the same time, like reminding them that this is also an opportunity for you guys to show how tough and how resilient you are. Don't rob yourself of that opportunity by taking any day for granted.
Right. Right.
And I thought we did that. I thought we played a really clean baseball game on Tuesday.
Yeah, the response says everything. I mean, this is a conference contending team. People who lays eyes on your team are going to realize that. So, and that gets going pretty quickly. It's hard to believe. You were talking about that last week. Really? It's here? I hadn't looked ahead. I'm like, yeah, sure enough. On the road this weekend at Winthrop, who's off to a great start. Heck, 3/4 of the league's playing really well right now. The Big South is off to a terrific non-conference start, and you get to go down to Rock Hill, where it's going to be a little warmer, against a pretty good Winthrop team. What are they looking like? What's been some of their strengths so far for people who want to follow this weekend?
Yeah, Winthrop's done a really good job up to this point. I'll tell you what, they're pitching it really well.
Yeah,
they're pitching it almost at under a 4. They played some really, really good teams. I know they just went down to Auburn and they got swept, but that's a challenging environment to play in.
Sure.
They've got some guys who are swinging it really well. They've got probably, my goodness, 2/3 of their starting lineup back. They've got a lot of returning role players from last year. They've got some additions. Jalen Hernandez, the left-hand hitter, he's been awesome for them this year. I think I've always thought he's an excellent hitter from the moment he showed up to campus as a freshman. But he's hitting like 370 with 6 home runs. He is a what to get out, especially with 2 strikes. So you got to really, really pitch him. No, a lot of credit to him. I mean, he's got an edge to him. He's got some toughness. He's got a style that will energize their entire team. Very similar to the left-hand hitter that High Point had, Echeverria. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but very similar to that with a little bit of power. So it seems to be as if he's kind of the straw that stirs that lineup strength. And they've got some guys that have been, I would say, not performing to their statistical history. Josh Shorokowski, I thought he was unbelievable hitter, but he's been a little bit, I don't want to say underperforming, but not to the level I know he can be. But they're a challenge offensively. 1 through 9, they can They're really challenging to get out. They're tough with 2 strikes. They got some power. They're defending the ball solid, but on the mound, they're doing a really, really good job. They got some guys at the bullpen. They can mix and match some velo guys, some stuff guys. So yeah, it's gonna be a handful as it is as it will be in this league every single weekend. I mean, High Point took 2 out of 3 from Florida. They beat Duke on Tuesday.
Right.
Upstate has beaten Georgia Southern. They play a really challenging schedule. Charleston Southern has done well up to this point. Gardner Webb looks like a really, really good team. They beat Oklahoma State going out there on Friday night, and my goodness, I don't know if they run ruled them or not, but they smoked them. Well, Longwood's very good.
Yeah,
Longwood, awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. I mean, it's great. It's in like any other sport, you may not think about it as much. Not you, but I mean, people. We always talk about how conference play feels different in football and basketball. Boy, you feel it in baseball when you have a team there for 3 days. You feel it just as much during a baseball series, don't you? That everything's just amped up. It's
conference. Yeah, conference games are awesome. It's just a different energy. It's a different vibe. You can feel the edginess from the first pitch of a weekend series. The dugouts are a little bit more chirpy. A little bit more of an excitement after guys do things, but I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be an awesome conference here, and playing a team like Winthrop is it's going to be fun. This is why you came to college, to play college baseball. For opportunities like this, environments like this, playing really, really good teams. So we'll be good. We'll be ready to rock and roll.
And you're getting healthy. I know you have a couple of guys back this weekend, which is going to be awesome. Captain back. That's going to be great.
It's been just different not having him out on the field. It's been just a different vibe. Noah Toole has done an awesome job at shortstop, moving over from second base.
It's not easy.
He played some third, obviously, in the beginning of the year. No, I think Noah's done an awesome job this year. I mean, we forget he's just a sophomore, right? So there's a lot of continued development for him. He's an awesome athlete. But yeah, having Keener back is going to be huge for us. Just he's your quarterback. He's your veteran quarterback that you get back. It lengthens out our lineup tremendously. We're able to do some things. I think there's just there's a calming presence I think he provides for his teammates, which is an awesome thing. And then getting BP back as well, a veteran, middle of the order, top of the order type of kid who's got the ability to drive the ball. I've always thought he could hit ever since he was in his sophomore year of high school. I know he's going to show up and compete and be a huge addition to our lineup and our team. He's done awesome in left field. So those are two critical guys, just culturally, toughness-wise, edgy-wise, in your lineup, in your dugout. It's important. So I'm proud of the way that some of these young guys have played. Sully up going out there in left field. He's done an awesome job as a freshman.
Yes, he has.
Taking some critical at-bats. So, but yeah, huge to get those two guys back for sure.
Well, and your guys too. They always make me smile. They're what they're going through. I'm going there yesterday to do softball, and you guys were flying into the parking lot, coming in for practice, and they all had their stereo, and guys are standing outside their cars just singing.
They're good.
And I said, if anybody deserves to be singing, it's these guys.
Yeah,
it just made me happy. And they were just, and I just thought, you know what, human perseverance and what these guys are doing, it's special. It is
special.
It's special.
Awesome.
So, David Smith told me to tell you he was on. He and Pebbles and everybody that way and all his folks around the Radford that he talks about, always thinking and praying for you guys. He said he didn't get a chance to reach out, but he will if he hasn't. And I wanted to let you know how much that you are on their mind. So I wanted to pass that along as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, David and Pebbles. Thank you, guys. We'll see y'all soon for sure.
All right. Well, listen, brother, you guys have a safe trip. We'll be pulling like hell for you, and let's get off to a great start.
Let's
win
do
that
it.
series this weekend. So
sounds good, Rick. Thanks,
right,
buddy.
man.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you, man.
Stay safe. Take care. There you
All
go.
right. See
Alex Guerra, head baseball coach at Radford University. Great stuff. But that was awesome. Those guys are just, I got a little emotional when I saw it yesterday. I'm getting emotional now, thinking they've come through and, Anyway, fun team. And I'm telling you, I sat there Tuesday night, and I said this yesterday. It was beautiful. If you haven't been to our ballpark, you're missing out. I mean, we come down to Carter Memorial Stadium, especially now it's getting warm. Days are longer when that green starts hitting behind the river. And I was just sitting there in the seventh inning going, you know what? This is what it's all about, man. You're at the ballpark. It was a really good game. That helps. It was just beautiful. And I'm telling you, come out. It's free. Come watch this team, especially what you know about this team and these young men. And eventually we will. We get a lot of requests, and I'm going to let Alex just tell me, but we're going to have players on. Right now it's not the best time probably, given, the heaviness of everything, but we will. There's some guys, and we'll let AG tell us who he thinks should come on. I think Keen's a guy you'd love to get to meet. He's a tremendous leader, but we will. So we will have that, and I know everybody understands. It's in their time, not my time or your time. It's in their time. But Winthrop this weekend. Winthrop's a really good team. Big South's a good league. So thanks to AG, and we'll figure all that out with him, as we motor on. It's a long season, right? You got the rest of March, you got April, you got early May, so we got time. Yeah, there you go, Brent. Yeah, you got to come out. I'm telling you. I mean, Radford Lifer, okay, but I'm just telling you, just from if I weren't and I were to drive by the stadium and I decided to sit in there and I was somebody new to the area, I would go, wow, this is really nice. And I would go back, even if I had no connection. But we got the turf field. It's just clean. It's so nice. And the setting around it, you got Deadman over there, adjacent down left center. You got the river in behind, the trees. You got the hitting. It's good zen, as they say. Right? And I know all you Tech fans, I'm not dissing English Field. It's nice. It's very nice over there. But I think our ballpark's got a special aura to it. And we got a good team. So come see us. Dwight Vick joins us. It's Wayne's birthday. If anybody ever forgets it's Wayne's birthday, well, there you go. Nothing but a good time there. Don't let those thorny roses spoil your birthday, because that guy wouldn't. I don't know. Let me look that up, Prometheus. I should know, but I don't know off the top of my head. I have all that stuff at work. People asking about the Tech Radford games. It's usually 2 games, 1 in each ballpark. But I will let you know right now. Hey, I'm all for getting people to come out to the ballpark, man. Let's support these Highlanders. This is special. You need to come out and support these guys. Got 8 wins on the season. Look great against JMU. All right, so Virginia Tech. Oh, here you go. Make your plans. It's the last day of March. It's a Tuesday. It's in the evening. You got no excuse for work. It should be warm. March 31st, 6 o'clock. Get everybody here from BDST down to the stadium. All you Tech fans, you can even wear your Tech colors. March 31st, 6 o'clock. Come see us. I'll be on the call. And then, let's see, is that just, then they go to Tech on April 14th. If you're in Blacksburg, you can watch them. So there's the 2 games, March 31st in Radford, April 14th in Blacksburg. Yeah, everybody should come. You won't regret it. Concessions are very affordable. That's when they show up. But we don't control that. Yeah, you should meet up there. I guarantee you won't. You'll leave going, wow, this is a good idea. Trust me. Really good idea. That's all we try to do. We try to promote good ideas here on the program. Thanks, everybody, on our professional door text line. It never stops. I wake up in the morning, I have 7 or 8 messages on the text line. That's great. That's good for Travis Williams, the sponsor of our text line. Appreciate everything. Appreciate everybody. All the well wishes for Alex. It's well deserved. Very well deserved. Yeah, I am. A lot of people are echoing the same thing. Since Tech and Radford are out for me, I'm having a hard time sitting down and going, yay, basketball. I'm all about sticking ball right now. I left the game Tuesday against JMU. I was like, when's the next home game? When are we back on the air? Just into that. Softball, we had that last night. Radford won, by the way. Got a big 2-run home run from Kelly Feigen, the catcher, or backup catcher. She was the DP, I think. And she hit a 2-run home run at the bottom of the 6th to beat a very good Campbell team. That was exciting. We got a big weekend of softball. Got 2 games tomorrow. We're hosting the Radford Invitational. So come see us. All right, Wes. There you go. Thanks, Wes Young. My first Radford baseball game was this past Tuesday, and 100% great venue to take it in. Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't fib to you. Come back, Wes, and if you do, stick your head up there in the press box. I'm on the far right. That's the broadcast booth. I'm right behind home plate. It's awesome. Yeah. That was about as clean of a midweek game as I've seen in a long time from really both teams, but especially from Radford. They were really good Tuesday. And I'm not going to get into what Alex told the team, but it was a really good conversation. All right, so here we are. It's pouring down rain, and are you kidding me? It's 39. Temperatures are going to fall to 32? What are we doing? $32? And they're saying the rain might, before it tails off, might mix in with some snow flurries. I left softball yesterday. I remember I looked down at my phone. It was 74. And we're almost 40 full degrees colder right now. That's depressing. That really is depressing. Yikes. Well, in other words, if you come to watch our softball tournament this weekend, it's free, by the way. Lafayette. I'm sorry, they want it to be Lafayette. And ETSU coming in. So it's like a round robin. It's not really like a winner take all tournament, but I think Lafayette's playing 3 games or 4 games, but we play 3. ETSU plays 3. We'll broadcast them all. So tomorrow it's supposed to be sunny, but around 52. It's going to be chilly, though. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, got to love the Virginia weather. Yeah, yesterday, Prometheus, everybody's still ripping what Bam, that whole farce of an 83-point game. A new low for the NBA in back-to-back days. Steve Kerr saying that it's just too hard. They need to reduce the schedule. And then whatever that was with Adebayo. To a man, I didn't see one person defending it, except for here. with Keon. Everybody knows what it was. And it's not good for a league that. And I saw people, one thing I did see here, everybody was trying to guess what guys like Boozer and kid from BYU are going to average. Keep in mind, nobody is committed to defense in the NBA, so they're going to average a lot more than 12 or 14 points. Nobody plays any defense. Nobody. They don't care. There's no effort. And because they don't care, I don't care. They don't care about their game in that league. And you can see it. It's about the lifestyle. It's about the culture, not about the game of basketball. If it were, then you wouldn't have so many guys saying we're going to make sure we max out the load management we're allowed to still be eligible for the MVP. Or you wouldn't have a 3-time. How many times did the Warriors win the title? 3 times? Whatever it was. You wouldn't have a coach who's won NBA titles begging the league to take out games. You wouldn't have the circus of 83 points, calling timeouts up by 30, being on the line 43 times, scoring 40 of those from the foul line. They put the side-by-side of Kobe's 81 and Adebayo's 83, and it's just when Kobe had 81, and my thing isn't even about him. I know Keon was trying to say people didn't want to see that being broken. That didn't bother me. But that game was close. The game they were playing, I think it was Toronto. That was close going in the fourth quarter. So they needed him to score. That the other night was just an atrocity to everything that's right about competitive sport. Yeah. There you go. They were down and had to rally, right? So they needed him to be that guy. This wasn't whatever that was the other night. Yep, exactly, Brandon. It's embarrassing. They don't understand it. And I think, I'm starting to figure out what's wrong with sports. That's right. This guy. It's the Generation Z mentality coming into sports. Everything is accepted. Nobody has any past of context. Nobody has any, because they don't feel like they need to do it. Nobody takes in to dig the historical relevance of what this league or what professional leagues look like or college sports look like. It's just all that's right there. It's all just right there, right in front of them. No past, just what's here. Oh, that's perfectly fine. They can do whatever they want. That's perfectly okay. Whatever, man. Whatever. My son been in for college. He just left to go out for the last few days with some of his buds. Got to see him one final time yesterday afternoon. And, he's just one of the smartest people that I know. Been through a lot. I shared his, suicide attempt with you a couple weeks ago. So he's been through a lot. He's developed, but he's still just got this, he watches the league, and for him, he thinks that that's the way the league should be. He understands he's got prior context and respect for the players, though. It is a lack of self-awareness. It is. Yeah, Favre, that thing was a farce too. And that wasn't even, you can't blame that one on Generation Z. That was a farce. All these guys are making more money than has ever been made by anybody. And they have less respect for the game that's making them that money than they ever have before in their life. And that's the problem that I see. Guys are about the bag and not about the game. And I think that's a big part of it. This guy's never about just the bag. He's always about the game. He is Dwight Vick. What's going on? What's up, DV? Good morning, brother.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, man. I like that. Ooh, that's sharp. I like that blue and orange Victory Life shirt. It's nice. You got me? Let's see here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, man.
Okay, good. Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. I think so. You're a little scared. It's a little.
All right, make it short, man. I don't know.
Little jumpy, but we got you, though. Yeah, we can see you and hear you, though, so that's good. Can you hear me? No. Let me send you a new link. Yeah, we had a little problem. I'll send you a new link. Yeah, that didn't look right, did it? That looked kind of, I don't think he could hear me. I'll send a new link, Dwight, if you're still watching. Sometimes it just takes a couple links because it's technology, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Nah. He looked good, didn't he? I like that blue, man. That looked good. Mets got the matching. See, he's got that coordinated Mets hat, too. That looked great. He had the Mets cap to match the Victory Life colors. That was great. There he is.
How about
that
now?
Looks better.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better. That looks better. Yeah, it looks better. That looks better. How you doing, man?
All right. Okay. I'm good, man. Good. Yeah, it's good Thursday morning. Been working hard this week. Yeah, man, I'm doing well. How about you?
Yeah, we're doing okay. You know, it's all right. We're moving not beyond, but we're moving forward after what happened, you know, with our baseball program and Joey Rakuya. But young people inspire you, right? You talk to people all the time and, you know, they have problems. You may be thinking about some, but younger people they inspire you when their perseverance can be very positive. That's what we're experiencing now down at Radford right now. So it's cool.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Other day, now you chimed in on chat. I don't know if people noticed, right? You were watching, and we were talking about what college players are made. And your point is well taken, and I've always brought this up, and I don't understand why it was okay for coaches' salaries to explode the way they did. I think that's what you were talking about, right? Nobody complained about that as much. And then these ridiculous buyouts, that was okay, whatever. Nobody really, some people did, but now that it's out of control the other way, and it is out of control, people seem like this is the worst thing in the world, right?
Yeah, you know, I think what happens is we're creatures of habit. We're accustomed to a system being a certain way. And what happens is we've got accustomed to, over the last several decades, coaches make the money and the players just play, and they should be happy to be on scholarship or to perform. But a lot of these coaches see the bag as well. And there's a lot of, you know, buddy, good old boy system network going on. Yeah. I mean, you look at Lane Kiffin leaving during the season and certain things like that. And you look at a lot of you got people. I mean, I've gone on record with my ex account, and I've gone on record on your platform and other shows when I say, well, you got a coordinator in Blacksburg making $800,000, $900,000 in Southwest Virginia, where the cost of living is much different in Northern Virginia, and they can't figure out how to go against a 3-4 defense. Right.
Right.
You know, so it's just one of those things where it's like a lot of people are being overpaid. And I feel like when it comes to evaluating talent and coaches, some ADs, some college coaches, and some players are overpaid or in over their head. So it kind of penalizes the guys that should be making the money or who are worth the money, right? So the system saturates itself.
Prometheus is asking, when do coaches do this? Coaches do this all the time, Prometheus. They jump from one program to the other in a heartbeat. They will look at their locker room and lie to their kids' faces, then go out and have a press conference and say, hey, I'm here, man. And then 2 days later, boom, you're seeing me wear another team's colors in front of cameras in a press conference on a stage with a different logo behind me. I mean, when doesn't it happen, right? You can go through hundreds of instances where this has happened, right? It's the same thing. There's no loyalty.
It happens a lot. Yeah, it happens a lot. I mean, this is why I've said, since Fuente got to Virginia Tech, you'll never have a situation like what you had with Beamer and Steinspring and Grimes and Foster and all those guys. You won't have a system where coaches stay 20, 15, 30 years. They're going to move around a lot too. And everybody takes a part of this system being in place. I mean, right now, as we speak, there are tweets right now about firing Mike Young because Tech hasn't been to the tournament in the last 4 years, right? So the moment we miss a tackle, the moment you miss a field goal, fire this guy. We should hire. There are people, I've been on their Twitter spaces, their podcasts. I think we should go after him. So why are people surprised when the reaction after a disappointing play or moment, you tweet and you get on your platform and you get on your show and say, we should hire this guy. We should get rid of this guard. Why are we playing Ben Hammond? We should get this guy. We should get this guy. That's all fans do. It's everybody. Everybody is part of this problem. Everybody is part of this problem. This integrity and moral compass that we all think exists is not in play.
No.
And that's because we all take a part of this entitlement of win now. I paid my money. I saw it in 1994 as a red shirt at the Gator Bowl. When I didn't play in that game, I was a red shirt, and I sat in the stands. We sat like right behind the benches, and there was a guy behind me, a drunk fan, but he was not as drunk as I thought he was because he was saying how, hey, man, you should be, Beamer, I paid this much money for this package. I paid for this. And I'm thinking to myself, Tech football has only been good the last 2 years, 93 and 94. So why exactly are you upset? They're losing to Peyton Manning in Tennessee. They finished second in the conference. It's the Gator Bowl. This is the best bowl they've ever been to in school history at the time.
Right.
I'm not saying you don't have the right to. I'm not saying you don't have the right to be frustrated. What I'm saying is there's a level of competency that comes into being a fan as well as a coach and a player. Everybody should have a rational compass. Everybody should have the IQ of understanding how this works. But we get in our feelings because when we pay our money or when a guy makes a lot of money or when a coach is overpaid and doesn't know how to call a game, doesn't know how to use his rotation, we respond with, we got to get another one. We got to do what Indiana did. We got to do what Alabama did. We got to do what Syracuse did. We got to do what Pittsburgh did. That's what we do. We respond, and then all of a sudden you have a mess. Yesterday, there were tons of coaches being fired. On your great show, on your platform, you talked about guys that was during football season where there were a ton of guys that were fired. And you asked Andy or somebody, have we ever seen anything like this?
Yeah. Never. I never have. I never had.
Yeah.
And now in college basketball,
hey, Rick, I'm gonna switch to a different so I don't have the.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go. He's lagging a little bit. He'll come back. I think you can still use the last link I sent. Here we go. We're gonna get him right back here. All right, there you go. Hey, there he is. Yeah, that looks a lot better.
Yeah. So you were saying, I'm sorry,
to your point, and now I think I saw yesterday 31 openings already in college basketball.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes down to it, are we hiring the right guys? Are we paying the right guys? Making money is the new normal for everybody, right? There's more money involved in sports, more social media, more access. It's just like MTV no longer plays videos, right? They've been stopped doing it. They went to shows, the Real World and everything. So everything changes and evolves. Change doesn't always mean it's a good thing, but it's inevitable. So how do you adjust to a new normal? How do you adjust to a system where money takes shape and there's a lot of money involved? Well, your evaluation and your systematic approach in identifying players and coaches and GMs worthy to get the money is more critical. So what does that mean? That means like you look at the guy Capel, who I basically watched grow up. He's only a few years younger than me as a coach, son of a coach. He was a great guard at Duke. He's the head coach at Pitt. He's not really doing a phenomenal job at Pitt, unfortunately, and he's getting a lot of backlash. Well, the guy before him, Jamie, I forgot his name, was a phenomenal coach, took them to NCAA tournaments, but he was in a lot of ways a great coach. Capel might be better served as a great assistant. So the truth of the matter is that was Pitt wrong in hiring him? Well, you feel like, okay, well, he came from Duke. He was on that coaching tree. And he won a lot at Duke as an assistant. He won as a player. Do you hire him? Maybe, maybe not. Syracuse, you lose the great Jim Boeheim to retirement, and you hire this guy, and the truth of the matter is it his fault or is it the players he's bringing in? And that's why I said I would go after. I think one thing when I look at the blueprint, Rick, I know this is a tough comparison, but one thing Frank Beamer did, even though it wasn't NIL portal era, the one thing he did was he got guys that fit his system and culture. So
every time. Yep.
One thing I think that's not talked about enough, Rick, is what are the cultures and systems in place at these schools? Because some schools, mid-majors, high majors, are winning with kids making very good money, but there's accountability. One thing I've been hearing from several people is that James Franklin has come in and he has adjusted the market. A lot of kids that were being paid a lot of money are now making what they should make, and they have a chance to earn more. And that's how it should be in any economy. So when you look at the landscape of college basketball and college football, yeah, there's a lot of money, a lot of people making money, but coaches have always lied and players have always been lazy. Not all players, some, right? Saban lied. Saban's at the thing with
I know.
the meeting. I'm like, Saban, I remember, maybe people don't have YouTube or their password has changed, but you can go and look up when he told the Miami Dolphins he wasn't leaving. He told them he wasn't leaving, and he left in 4 business days.
He already had a deal.
He already had the deal.
Yeah.
And Rick, for some of you and your listeners listening and watching me right now, I'm involved with student athletes. I know for a fact a player that was headed to Tech and Alabama swooned in and was contacting him during the dead period. So they were contacting him through his trainer. So while he was training, they would FaceTime the trainer so that they could talk to him. I know all the tricks of the trade. I know when Josh Sweat was contacted after hours when he was going to Tech, and all of a sudden they switched up. See, people want to play like this stuff hasn't been going on.
I know.
Let's stop this moral compass. Like you pushed education and education. You're lying. We don't even talk about education. I have 4 degrees sitting behind me. Do you think there's a lot of Tech fans that celebrate that when I play? No.
No.
They don't care.
It's been Blue Chips well before even Blue Chips was made. It's a great movie because it still stands true. I bring it up all the time because they had it right.
Blue Chips is a great movie. It's
honest. It's honest.
It touches on a system. When that kid from Indiana comes in there and he goes in front of Coach Nick Nolte, that's not his name, but that's his real name. And he says, all right, Coach, I'm thinking I need $100-some thousand in cash in a black bag. Listen, but the truth of the matter is when the best character in that movie was Happy, the booster that was paying people.
I know. He was great.
He was the best character. He said, you think I don't own you? I've been owning you. And the truth of the matter is this stuff has been going on. I just think some coaches and some organizations and some universities have learned how to adjust and learn how to play the market. And some people are kind of in this gray area where they're hiring the wrong guys, they're paying the wrong players, or they're overpaying for people. And you can't be afraid to hold coaches and players accountable. And when there's money involved, again, I'm gonna repeat this again for those that might have just been waking up. When there's a lot of money involved, your evaluating system, the way you evaluate talent, the way you recruit, the way you hire your staff, how you run your university from the ground maintenance to the janitorial staff, everything has to be efficient and effective. You can't get consumed with trying to just keep up with certain schools. Stay in your lane and grow effectively and not try to get instant gratification, aka immediate success. And that's why you saw so many great coaches step down, like Jay Wright, one of my favorites, Tony Bennett, and other guys, because they were like, look, I'm not going to compromise my integrity. Gary Williams was actually one of the first ones that stepped away, and that was in the early 2000s.
That was early, yeah.
That was early because you know what was happening? The AAU shoe circuit game began to change, right? So is it a mess? I think it's always been a mess. I just think we see more of it now because we have more access. And, our fans, we talked about, are very intelligent. They know what's going on, so they're paying attention more. But it's always been like this. We've always said, man, if I could really just unleash this morning about what I know, I might just talk about tech. I'm talking about nationwide. And these aren't rumors. I'm involved. These are things I've seen, I've known, I've seen screenshots. And here's another thing, Rick, if we're talking about it, there's also I was talking to one of my good friends, Chris, about this. He's actually probably in the chat right now. And Chris and I were talking the other day, and he reminded me of this, and this is something I don't think fans know or maybe pay attention to. There are a lot of players who maybe want to stay at a university and plan to stay, but when there's a coaching change or a position coach change, they're told to go in the portal. They're not even allowed to. They're not even allowed to fight for their position.
That's
they say,
100%
"Hey,
right. Yep.
You got to go in the portal." And I don't mean just football and basketball. I mean baseball, and wrestling. They're told, "Hey, man, I got 3 guys coming in." So it's more of a cutthroat business more than ever now. I mean, when I played, I know that when I played, there were guys that were going to be on special teams, and they were going to be backups. They were going to get in if we were up 30 or 28 points in the fourth quarter. And they were like, okay, I'm going to leave tech with a degree, but the coach isn't going to force me out because we need people to practice. We need you in case somebody gets hurt. And you were okay with that because back then, if you transfer, you had to go down a level, or if you transfer laterally, you would have to sit out. So movement wasn't as constant, but it was also a situation where if you think back, there were some talented players that were stuck because their position coach didn't realize how good they were or didn't like them for whatever reason. So I enjoy the movement. I just feel like you have to learn how to coach and make kids understand their worth and get the right kids who don't mind staying a few years. Right. But we'll see what happens. We're still going to watch. It's just, man, I just think we talk a lot about the players, but coaches and ADs have to be better too.
Well, I'm so glad you brought up Coach Saban because it kind of bugs me the way, not really necessarily how people view him, but how he kind of views himself as being above everything. At least that's the way it comes across to me. Eli Gold, the longtime voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, who was there 35 years, used to come on the show all the time. And it was the first time I ever heard the term Tuscaloosa Mafia, right? And that was back in the early part of the show. That was like 2003, 2004. So, and you know what he's referring to, right? Friends of the program, like in Blue Chips, like Happy in Blue Chips. So when Saban tries to talk about all the things wrong with college football, I'm like, look, dude, you took that Alabama job because you knew whatever you needed, whomever you needed, you would have it. Whatever you needed to get them, you were going to get them. Why do you think they always had a top recruiting class? You think that was all because Nick Saban showed up on campus? Maybe because they were donating more money to get those players before pay for play was a thing. But it really bugs me the way he kind of always makes it look like he's got all the answers and all this crap about him being commissioner. Come on, man.
I think that's the hypocrisy. That's the elephant in the living room, but we can see it, and that's the elephant in the living room that we're paying attention to. That we see it. Some people might ignore it, right? So at the end of the day, you know, you look at it. I always laugh when I hear coaches that, especially in these little committees, and they talk on ESPN about we got to do something, this, that, whatever. I think you're just uncomfortable because Indiana and other programs, JMU and some other schools are getting opportunities, right? You know, like the truth of the matter is Tulane and JMU both getting into the college playoff, great for the playoff. Probably not, but at the same time, I feel like JMU earned the right to be there.
I do too.
I'm not poo-pooing on Tulane, but I've said on your platform the last 3 years, maybe a little longer, JMU has been the best football program in Virginia.
You have, yeah.
So the truth of the matter is, they played who they played and they won, and they gave Oregon all they wanted, right? At the end of the day, a lot of Power 4 teams get blown out in the playoffs. So let's stop acting like just because JMU and Tulane was there, this is awful. I'm like, I don't mean no harm, but I watched teams that were ranked all year get boat raced. Also, you go back to Alabama, no program more than Alabama, including Miami, USC, Oregon, and Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State. I should take Indiana. The other blue bloods, no program has gotten the benefit of the doubt more. See, I'm old enough to remember the BCS era. I remember when LSU played Alabama in a rematch. Alabama didn't even win their division or conference. They got jumped. They jumped somebody to play in that championship, and the game was horrible. It was boring. I think it was like 9-6 or something. And you know why we saw that? Because Kirk and company and ESPN wanted us to watch that championship.
Correct.
So let's come on, man. Like people need to understand, man. This is like Nino Brown to the New Jack City. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than you. This is bigger than everybody. This is what's going on, man. So you got to adjust. And I think when people ask me what is the disappointing part, I think the fact is that when I say we've lost our way, I'm talking about accountability. You can pay somebody for their worth and their effort and their craft and still have integrity and accountability. Because if these coaches that feel like this is that whatever and it's not right, well, donate some of your money back, buddy. Give some of that money back. Give some of that money back. I'm on the coaches more because the coaches know exactly what's going on. Look, let me tell you guys something, everybody watching. My cousin Mike Vick, who is arguably one of the best quarterbacks in college football history, my graduate year, I had gotten cut from the league, so I was back at Tech working as a strength and conditioning coach with Mike Gentry. He was a red shirt freshman. We all know what happened that year, and he was up for the Heisman. And he did not have a suit to wear on the flight because you're supposed to dress nice, and he didn't have a suit to wear for the banquet ceremony. And Virginia Tech couldn't get him one. His mom was a bus driver in Eastern Newport News. So how do you feel about that? Like, and I'm sure if Bud and Beamer and Stein Spring could have and Bustle, they would have gotten him one, but they weren't allowed. That's called improper benefits. They couldn't buy him one, right? So you think about how great Mike was and what he did financially for Southwest Virginia and the Commonwealth as a whole, what he did for Virginia Tech, the brand, and he couldn't get any of that money. Meanwhile, coaches then and now get bonus stipends anytime a kid graduates, makes all conference, gets drafted, meets their playing weight. They have so many stipulations in their contract. And I don't think it's a problem because if you can coach, you can get kids to buy in and graduate and perform at their max level, you should be compensated. But I just think about the decades of athletes who were used, who were forced to play injured, who did not get a piece of the pie. So it's been going on a long time. That's why when I look at these guys, Saban and company, the SEC, we all know what the SEC's been doing, man. Yeah. I mean, I think, again, I just don't know why people get mad when the Radfords, the Coastal Carolinas, the Georgia Southerns, the ODUs start coming up. I want them to come up. Why can't they get a piece? Why can't they get a piece? Right?
No, 100%. There's a good discussion going on in chat as we're talking here, Dwight. Let me ask you, you've always talked about how the development of being a man, how you got to Tech and Coach Beamer and Steiny and all those guys helped you, become the person you are, helped you lead you to what you're doing now. Great success. And coaches need Mike Jones, one of my favorite people in the world. I love that man like he's my father. He just got fired from UNCG for whatever reasons, but he talked about it. He's determined to get back into it because he wants to lead young men. Are we losing that now because of the money involved? Can coaches still take that approach to develop young men as much as they used to, or is the money clouding all that? And guys are like, I've got all this money. I'm already developed as a man, when really they're not. It's all just a charade.
It's a tough deal, man, because I believe and again, I'm not counting his pockets, but I believe Fuente is still getting paid by Tech.
He is. He
right?
is.
So
yes.
you
yes,
think about that. I don't know him personally. I've been around him a few times when he was a coach at Tech. I don't know him, don't have anything. And he's from all accounts, he knows the game, but he got paid and he's still getting paid. I think those guys, and I saw Mike Jones tweets. I saw it. I even liked a few. Those guys are in it for the right reasons. And unfortunately, those guys are the ones being overshadowed. I think it's tough because it's a two-way street, but I think both exits lead to the same destination, right? So what that means is you have the push from the fan base and the media, because you have more podcasts, more talking heads more than ever, who feel like they're an expert. And if you don't meet their expectations, they're on you constantly. Like I said earlier, fire, get rid of him. But then you have the athletic department that has to see a return on their investment, right? So you can want to lead and want to and help these young men, but you do have to win and you do have to meet these expectations. And it's tough because with the portal now and with teams showing you can win quicker and sooner, the patience has grown thin and the noise has gotten louder, right? So, yes, thank God I came around in a great time. I played for 2 Hall of Fame coaches, actually 3. Coach Brower in basketball in high school, Coach Smith in high school, and also Coach Beamer. So I was very fortunate where throughout my career, my legacy is what it is because I was around stability, including my mom and dad who've been married 54 years. So I saw consistency. I saw men in my life and women like Dorita Ratcliffe, who's the associate AD at Arkansas, showing up every day. I saw these people showing up. I told you on your platform, I've said in Twitter Spaces and even on my own pod, I feel bad to some degree for today's players because the movement between their teammates constantly because somebody yelled at them, or the movement from coaches who leave right before the season, like the O-line coach at Tech a few years ago, or Rudolph was there for 1 year. These coaches are moving around a lot too. That consistency impacts the player.
Sure.
You and I have a personal and professional relationship, Rick, because every Thursday, for the most part, we're going to talk life, talk sports,
right?
And we talk outside of this. So there's just like you and Keon, you and David Teal. So imagine a coach coaching you. So that leadership takes a hit when coaches are always moving. I think everybody. Oh, I apologize. I don't want to say everybody. I think a lot of people are losing themselves to some degree and chasing something they shouldn't. In life, let me tell you something. This is my own theory, my own opinion. In life, there is no finish line. I feel like we just continue to evolve. We either grow or we regress.
Yeah.
And eventually we move on to the next life, which is the passing of our souls. But truthfully, there's no finish line. You go to another chapter, right? In this chapter of collegiate sports, there are a lot of things that are better than ever. But I feel like some people that hold the whistle, that pull the plugs, that make the decisions need to be talked to too. We need more of them on your show to talk about their methods and why some of the great leaders aren't given time. You look at a guy like Tyrone Willingham in Notre Dame. He graduated 84% of his players, and he had a good 9-win seasons and a 10-win season, but it wasn't good enough for Notre Dame. It wasn't good enough. They didn't give a damn about graduation rates, right?
Yeah.
So
no.
Yeah, man, like Mike Gentry, Coach Tony Ball, Stan Spring. Those guys are great leaders. Stan Spring calls me today. He texts me all the time. Bud Foster, I texted him the other day. And I don't think that players playing now can't talk to their coaches and have a personal relationship. I'm just talking about the movement and the constant change from both player and coach, right? And to be fair, as I sit on your great platform, my son is getting ready to make a decision. I think you know what that decision is but I will say this. He's not trying to go all over the country. He's trying to be in a situation that best meets his need and get to a level he can play at. And I think that's probably what hurts some players' perception, is that we think that they all want to move around and want to get the bag. They want to get the bag, but there are players that will stay at Tech. I think James Franklin is a coach that could give Tech some consistency where players will stay a lot longer than they used to be. I mean, we don't have access to their group chat, Rich, but I know for a fact a lot of players feel like, man, I can't play for this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. You know why he does. You know, and that plays a part too, man. But yeah, I hope I made sense to you this morning, man. I'm upright. I'm passionate.
No, it's good. No, this is the kind of stuff you're all over this kind of thing, because this is real life. This is human ambition. This is greed. You deal with this all the time when you're trying to help people. This comes up. All these topics we're seeing in college sports and pro sports, you see probably every week in different varieties, right?
I do.
So you can speak to it. So
I just hope they continue to get. When I talk about guardrails or a system, I'm just saying, like, accountability's got to be everywhere. You know, it's got to be with the ADs and the coaches too. And
absolutely.
You know, and it can't be like what happened in Penn State when that one AD, we got the recording leak when he went in there and met with the players. It can't be like that, because having 3 kids, you and I have kids, and your son and my son are close in age, right?
Yeah.
And I caught the tail end of what happened, which is I didn't know that, right? So I'm sorry, but at the same time, that's going to bring you guys closer. And as long as he's using his resources, but so many men are suffering in silence. So this is why I get on my soapbox. We say, well, you're making $255,000, but he's still, imagine yourself at a university at 20, 19, 21 years old. You're still trying to figure things out. And now you have more voice boxes, more people talking about you, and saying things about you if you have one bad play, one bad game. Right.
Yeah.
So
100%.
And even if you don't play sports, you have the pressure, these external factors that play a part in your development. That's the one thing I thank God for, even though I love social media, I love, my phone and all those things. The one thing I will say is I am kind of glad I grew up in an era where you were allowed to grow up in silence. You made the mistakes right here and no one else saw it, maybe a few other people.
That's 100%. That's well said. Exactly. I think about that all the time, how grateful I am that I didn't have any of this, and I could just go outside, and I could, if I needed to clear my head, I could go run, I could play ball, I could go to my neighbor's house and just, you're right, watch a game on TV and just get lost in that. It's totally different. You're right.
Rick,
I do it all the time.
Rick, you talk about watching a game. I'm watching a game. They're talking about next game. Then the commercials about erectile dysfunction and all these different things. And I mean, political ads. I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Anyway, I can go on and on, man. Thank you again, man, as always.
Oh, it's great, brother. Listen, good stuff, man. Looking forward to it again next week. And I hope you have a great weekend. And I can't wait to find out the end result of your son's journey, or the next stage of his journey as he moves on. This is great. It's great.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care, man. Good stuff, as always.
Yes, sir.
Dwight Vick. Yeah, the best. The best. He's not just the quintessential source for all things Tech football. Dwight Vick's the quintessential source for all things life. How about good that guy? Great stuff today. Great conversation and chat. Thank you. That's what chat's for, man. I love to see Chris, Prometheus, Wayne, everybody. That's awesome. By the way, Wayne, one more time, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day, man. I hope you do. Enjoy. I hope we made it a good start for you here on the program. Thanks to everybody. Great stuff. Yeah, exactly. We don't agree on everything. Hell, y'all disagree with me on many things that I say. It's fine. Nobody takes anything personally. We're all family. Thanks to our, well, it was a great show today. Go back and rewatch. Show people. Get them to subscribe. Let's push. I got to push the subscriptions here. Let's go. Let's go. Share, like, spread the channel around. You're welcome to share it anywhere you want. Go back and find it, send it. I don't have any problems with it. But thanks to David Smith, best NFL analyst you're going to find anywhere. Sorry. He just is. Sorry, not sorry. Andy Bitter, Alex Guerra, good luck to the Highlanders. Winthrop, big series to start out conference play tomorrow. And, of course, Dwight. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow, the Finally Friday edition. Everybody, take care. Stay safe and stay warm. It's now 38 degrees. It's insanity. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good.